burning. Adrenaline rushes, veins fire. Peacemaker gaming, taking us higher. Racetrack wild, chaos reigns. Victory close in driving lanes. Handlebars tight, knuckles white. Peacemaker leads through the night. Fastest ride, they never miss. Peacemaker pushing through the abyss. Top broadcaster, nothing's fake. Speed kings, no one can overtake. Ooh. Audience roar, screens ignite. Peacemaker stream, pure delight. Commentary sharp like a blade. Bringing the thrill never fades. Wind in your face, heart races fast. Electric surge, adrenaline blast. Peacemaker holds the string tight. Guiding all through the digital night. Fastest ride, they never miss. Peacemaker pushing through the abyss. Top broadcaster, nothing's fake. Speed kings, no one can overtake.
Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from Kentucky Speedway for the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Practice just coming to a close. Drivers will get ready for qualifying here as they'll jump out onto the speedway. They'll get a couple laps in here, make sure that they can lay down their quickest lap time. Mr. Wood coming in, showing the love over on the YouTube stream, says, is my camera too dark? Let me double check that, brother. Nope, camera's good. Camera is good, my dude. Camera is looking absolutely minty fresh, brother, and looking good out there. Looking good, my dude. Nothing wrong with it at all as these drivers ready to rock and roll. Practice coming to a close. Qualifying getting underway, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to hop over and we're going to get our opening command here from Lonnie Crider. So thank you here again to Lonnie Crider jumping in, giving us the opening command here on the evening.
Hey, I'm Lonnie Crider, Grand Marshal. What a nice race. It's good to be back racing here tonight. Looking forward to the races tonight. So many guys out there having so much fun and having a good time. Look forward to some good racing. Like to thank all our sponsors. Also like to thank everybody's involved behind the scenes that we don't see. Another thing, thank God for another wonderful day he gave us. I picked up a little fellow in the audience here, out here on the racetrack, and I thought maybe he might want to say something to y'all. So I'm going to turn it over to him right now.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Alrighty, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you there to Lonnie Crider and the special guest to jump in here and give us the opening command on the evening as drivers definitely have their engines fired. They are rolling out there on the speedway, looking to lay down some quick lap times, trying to put themselves into the best position on the evening, and that is the pole position. As right now they all battle out there on the speedway. We will ask you right now to rise and remove your hat as we go for our national anthem here, brought to you by Landon Burbage. Alrighty, huge shout out there to Landon Burbage coming in with our national anthem here on the evening as we get ready to rock and roll. Qualifying slowly but surely coming to a close here on the Speedway, and right now it is Landon Burbage with the quick time here in qualifying. Matthew Wood in position number 2 right here behind him as the Racers for Christ ride going to be in that second spot. We see Grant Applegate still rolling out there on the Speedway, currently 8th quickest here in this qualifying session. Josh Crider out there on the Speedway looking beautiful as ever in the 5 ride as he rolls out there on the Speedway. The Rubbered Up Productions number 5 ride looking for a big run, a big drive. Here is the beautiful red and camo paint scheme ride, currently 15th quickest. We do see Evan Stewart out there as well, as Stewart looking very fresh as well as my boy Skylar Pruitt coming in, showing the love here in this one. It says, hey yo, with the 96 star dono. Yes, brother, we just got stars reactivated here. I don't know why they were deactivated for the longest time, but I think it was because for some reason I never update the game over on Facebook. I always forget to update the game, and for some reason or another that took stars away from us. People couldn't send stars over the last couple months. I thought it was a Facebook end thing. Maybe it was my end thing. It's my apologies to Facebook, but we gotta figure it out, and people are allowed to send stars again, and it's absolutely beautiful. Skylar says, yeah, I know. Piss me off, he says. Piss me off. Well, brother, listen, I saved you some dough. I saved you some coinage here over the last couple of months, so you didn't have to send all the stars and everything else. And you know, you got them banked up now. Maybe you can, you send them all now over the next few months throughout the winter time. You know, when you're sitting around, you're watching, you're playing more, and being a part of the streams more often, brother, as I know real life racing kind of came to a close there for you. An abrupt stop on the run straightaway there at Boone, and a lot of damage there to the poor old 96 ride. But man, listen, another amazing year, another amazing season for that 96 ride. We can't wait to see you back out here in iRacing more, and I know you'll get that car fixed up. As Skylar coming in with the like on the stream, as well as Craig Michael Deacon coming in with that thumbs up on the broadcast. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us the favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button if you're watching over on the YouTube channel, as we are only a couple subscribers away from 1,000 subs over on that YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure you hop over there and make sure you drop a subscription, become part of the Peacemaker family over on YouTube right now. As Skylar says, we will be more active in here now. Yes, brother, I know you will. I know you will. Listen, race season's a busy season for the Pruitt family, brother, and you know, as much as we miss you out here, you know, in the iRacing sim, we know you're doing big and amazing things out there in the real life racing world, so we can't hold you back from that. We can't hold you back from that. As we'll get ready to rock and roll, Jonathan Gaston says, pray for a student of ours. Carson was in a really bad car wreck yesterday. Jonathan, brother, Carson, your family, everyone else, we're praying for you. Hopefully speedy recovery. Hopefully nothing too major. Hopefully nothing too bad, and hopefully you can get back to everyday life and everything else in a quick hurry. And Jonathan, my hearts are out to you, all of your students, your family, and Carson's family, man. It's always a heartbreaker. We just saw Johnny Gaudreau getting a bad accident there a week ago or whatever. Famous hockey player, and me being up here from Canada, hockey is a huge part of my life. I love hockey, watch hockey religiously in my household, and even though he wasn't part of my favorite team or anything else, he was a huge part of the hockey world, and rest in peace to Johnny Gaudreau, and hopefully everything is a-okay with Carson, and hoping for a speedy recovery and an easy time here for himself and his family. As we'll get ready to rock and roll, our main feature event is about to get underway. These drivers are getting ready to rock and roll here from the beautiful Kentucky Speedway. Starting on the pole in the number 2 machine, that is Landon Burbage. To his outside will be the 16 ride, that is Matthew Wood. Starting in position number 3 in the 9 ride, that is Noah Blackwell, and to his outside will be the 54 of Thomas Hovarth. So I do believe Blackwell is going to start at the rear of the field, so that'll mix the lineup here a little bit, as Paul LaCourte will be now into the 4th position. Aiden Lucas in the beautiful Beyond Detailing 77 ride will start there in 5th, as Farrell Robbins back in that 6th position. Grant Applegate up in 7th as Trenton Johns rounds out our top 8 here on the racetrack. Ben Gleason will start in the 10th position. He'll have the 99 Orion Hauler down to his inside, bringing up our 5th row here on the speedway is Dylan Carrier, Danny White right there behind him, Jonathan Gaston back there in the 14th starting position with Josh Crider down to his inside. Kevin Winker, the Muleburger Custom Homes number 42 ride, will start back there in the 16th position with Evan Stewart down to his inside. Ryan Underwood and Jordan Hand back there in 17th and 18th. It's Chris Stage, Melvin, Brent Brewer, Jaden Porter, Dallas Seward, Noah Blackwell, Nathan Brookover, and Jordan Crider going to bring up the rear of the field. And looks like Jordan Crider going to miss the start of this race. He's still down pit side, so we'll have to wait and see when he jumps back out onto the racetrack. Is the pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn down pit side and unleash this field to Landon Burbage. As here from Kentucky Speedway, we go Green Flag Racing with the premium stock car racing lead. Landon Burbage sees that green flag fly, puts the pedal to the metal as he's trying to open up a little bit of advantage down into corner number 1 between himself and Matthew Wood. Wood, though, going to roll that middle group here, looking for a good drive off of corner number 2 as these cars get wound up the top speed. They're going to go door to door down the back straightaway. A little bit of contact, hang on to it. Oh, baby, we see one driver already around. Oh, no, that is Dylan Carrier in the Gamers Subs number 88 ride. Running into heavy issues here. You see the smoke barreling out of the back end of that 88 ride. And unfortunately for the NJBDesigns.com ride, that is a ton of damage. He's going to have to take that car down pit side for a lot of repairs. Let's play this back and see what happens here. It looks like maybe he gets a little push, maybe he gets a little shove here from the number 5 ride. As you see that Crider rolling up the back bumper of the 5 machine, and I'm not sure if there was contact or not. I do believe there might have been a little bit of bump drafting going on. Give him a shot in the back end. Just, jacked this car up, got him super loose. Unfortunately, watches down the speedway hard into that inside fence, and luckily enough, they have the safer barrier down there now as well, and not a heavy contact, but enough that this car is absolutely destroyed. Hopefully the crew can get it fixed up and back out onto the speedway in a quick hurry. Let's see if we can get another look at this one, see if there was contact here between him and that 5 machine, as I do believe there may have been. You see the 5 ride coming in a quick hurry, gives him a shot square to the back bumper. Unfortunately, I don't think Carrier was expecting that one, and you see this car just jack loose. He's trying to save it, trying to catch it. Unfortunately, cannot get there quick enough, and woo, what a ride right there for the 88 ride, and a ton of damage here for himself as well. Let's see if we can jump on board here with the 88. Get a good look from inside the cockpit as he rolls out of the corner. Car's a little loose coming off, and that's right when the contact's made, and damn, heavy hit, man, and around like a do-si-do. Unfortunately for the 88, he's going to bring out the first caution flag of the day. The crew has went to work and got that car fixed back up, so we'll get him stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as Skylar Pruitt says, Matt Fletcher sucks. Matt Fletcher sucks. I like that. I like that. 100%. As Maddie coming in, showing the love here. As we do see Black Phoenix, my boy Black Phoenix, 843 coming in with the like on the stream. Mama Bear, Susie Dickinson coming in with that heart reaction, as well as Joseph Barry coming in as well. Barry coming in, smashing that thumbs up here on the broadcast. Mama Bear says, Aaron, you are looking good tonight. Love the color of your shirt, Mama Bear. I appreciate that. Mama Bear, coming in, showing the love here in this one. And you know, we always dress to impress here on Peacemaker Gaming. You know, we always try to make sure we look our sharpest and stay our finest up here in the broadcast booth for everything that we're doing here on a nightly basis. As we'll get ready to set these drivers back loose, we'll get ready to go back to battle. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let us know up in the comment section right now, who are you cheering for? Who do you want to see up here in victory lane? We're interested to see who everyone wants to see here in Victory Lane. As you know, there's a lot of tough competitors. There are a lot of great drivers. They all bring in a lot of good viewers and fans in the stands that cheer them on. And it's always interesting to see who's cheering on who out there on the speedway. Who wants to see which driver up in Victory Lane here this evening with the Premium Stunt Car Racing League, as we'll get ready to go back to battle here. The lights are still on the official iRacing pace car, and you guys were here at the very start. You guys got a good listen in on our brand new song here for the Peacemaker Gaming as well. So a brand new song to start things up and everything else. Andrew Smith's Peacemaker for the entertainment. Let's go, brother. Let's go. Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with cheering on me as well, okay? I like it. I like it. That's a little boost to my ego, a little boost to my confidence here. As Chris Gantz in the chat says, sorry, couldn't make it tonight. Out of town this weekend. Good. Let's go. No Luck Racing cheered on this No Luck Racing teammate. Says we do see Ben Gleason currently up inside the top 10. Obviously getting some luck there, not getting contact or not getting a piece of the 88 ride, as he was right in front of that wreck right there, and that is a good place to be. He's in front of all the contact and all the carnage, and not behind it where you can't get out of the way. But Chris, we'll miss you out there on the speedway, brother, but enjoy your time out of town. Enjoy your weekend, man. You gotta miss a race here or there, man. We can't fault you on that. Real life happens every single day. We can't fault you from not being here for every race. As Kurt Jensen says, let's go Gleason. Cheered on Gleason out there on the speedway. So if you would be No Luck Motorsports fans in the stands here this evening, cheered on Mr. Gleason out there on the speedways. Matthew Wood out in front. He's looking for a big restart here, as he was at the front of the field at the time of the caution flag. He's able to hold on to that race lead, and he's going to have Landon Burbage now to his outside. Paul LaCour, Thomas Horvath, and Aiden Lucas back there behind him. Our top 5 ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here as Merrill Robbins, Grant Applegate, Trenton Johns, Ryan Haller, and Ben Gleason. Our top 10 here on the speedways. We see a few more drivers roll back out onto the racetrack. That is Kevin Winker coming back from down pit side. So Winker, maybe some early pit strategy coming out of the Muhlenberger Custom Homes number 42 ride. We'll have to wait and see how that's going to work out for him, if that's going to give him an advantage here on the evening. As Andrew says, lights out, brother. I appreciate that coming in, showing the love here in this one as we get ready to set these drivers back loose. Lights are out, and we get ready to go to battle here in this one. Matthew Wood, Landon Burbage, 1 and 2 on the speedway, is down through the Geico restart zone. We will go back to battle here in the Premium Stunt Car Racing League. Can we make it more than one lap this time? Can we see a green flag lap come through completion, or do we see another caution flag fly down here through quarter 1 and 2, or out of the back straightaway here, as we'll look and see what happens. Matthew Wood with a big restart, quickly opening up a few car length lead between himself and Landon Burbage. Burbage trying to track him back down here, trying to close that gap, but the 16 absolutely hooked up here this evening. The Me Machine of Grant Applegate making a few quick moves early in this race to put himself up into the 5th position. And look at Josh Crider. Crider is absolutely flying through this field. The Rumble Up Productions number 5 ride now up into the 6th position. He started all the way back in 15th and now up into 6th. That's 9 spots. Contact back there behind him. Another spinner. That's Melvin Brenkbrewer going around, and I do believe we will see the caution flag come back out. Yes, there it is. Caution flag back out on the speedway as the Toyota Gazoo Racing ride gonna go for a loop here out of corner number 2, and our second caution flag early on in this race. We'll see if there's contact here once again, as it looks like he's on the inside of Dylan Carrier, who went around the first time. Now, I don't think there's any contact. He just gets loose here to the inside of the 88 ride. Goes around right in front of Jordan Hand. Hand may have got a piece of him. Doesn't look like it, but unfortunately for this 84, he's going to slide right down into the infield wall there with the front end and the back end a couple times, and damage all around this 84 machine. So a tough break early in this race for not only the 88, but the 84 as well. Both running into some early issues here as Not sure if this was maybe netcode. I don't know. Looks like he's kind of loose getting in here. I'm not sure if there was a little netcode, little contact right there as well to really get things started. See the 88 ride, the 84 kind of make a little contact right there. Sends that 84 down onto the apron. He bounces back up. The car straightens out, and as it does, he kind of comes back up here, and I think he does get a piece of the 88 ride, or at least the netcode from the 88 ride. Going to shove that front nose around. And look at Jordan Hand. He is down there, and he just barely avoids contact with this 84 ride. A great save right there for Jordan Hand, as he could have easily just been still on the throttle and drove right into that wreck and caused a little bit more mayhem back here at the rear of the field. As we'll take another look here. Let's see if we can jump on board with Jordan Hand in the Optic Gaming. The Optic Gaming #1 ride. Let's see if we can jump on board here with the helmet cam of this one ride. See that little bit of contact goes down the racetrack, and then all of a sudden, yeah, woo, man, good piece of driving right there. Just being able to get onto the binders, let off that throttle, and let that car coast without any contact. And looking up for Jordan Hand, he keeps himself out of trouble right there. Unfortunately for Melvin Brangrewer, that does take him down pit side for a couple trips. We also see Jonathan Gaston in the Gaston's iRacing Graphics #72, also down pit side here. So potentially some more strategy going in for a few of these drivers, trying to play a little bit of a different game out there on the speedway, try to save their equipment, maybe try to get some extra fuel in there, try to, play a little bit of this fuel strategy we've seen in real life NASCAR. Kentucky can be one of those fuel strategy kind of racetracks, but right now it's kind of a survival of the fittest of a racetrack right now, as a couple early caution flags. Stacking these drivers together, and that could bring out more and more cautions, free cautions here in racing, as you see Aiden Lucas early up 3 spots on the speedway. The Beyond Detailing ride, they're in position #3. The Ricky Bobby inspired Me Machine, the 57 Applegate, up 3 spots there in fifth. We'll see Josh Crider, as we talk, up 9 positions early in this one, in that 5 ride, as he rolls in that 6th position. We'll also see back a little farther, Brian Underwood also up 9 spots on the speedway as well. He's now up into the 9th spot. Dallas Seaver served back in 24th, now up into 14th. He's gained 10 positions here on the speedway. So early on in this race, some big movers up and through the field here. We'll see if they can carry on that momentum and work themselves to the front of the pack. As Sherman Johnson says, love coming in with the love here in this one. I appreciate that, Sherman, coming in with the love here this evening. As Matthew Wood, Landon Burbage ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out here again this evening, as already 2 quick starts on this night. We'll see our 2nd restart, our 3rd initial start of this race, as we haven't had too many green flag laps with the 2 quick caution flags, which is going to really mix things up in this one, as Kurt Jansen says at this rate it's going to be who's not going to be who's the fastest, but who is left at the end. Yeah, exactly. More of a demolition derby style of a race here is the way we're headed. But I think these guys are going to clean it up. We're going to see a good green flag front here before we know it. But these guys, they don't give up. They don't back down. And right now you see Aiden Lucas with a good restart. He'll follow right up through with Matthew Wood and up into position #2. So Aiden Lucas moving forward here, puts himself into that 2nd spot, as here comes Paul LaCour. Matthew Wood, though, at the front of the field, showing him how to get it done here in this one. Just hitting these restarts perfectly, trying to keep himself out of all the mayhem that unfolds back there behind him. He is staying here at the front of the field. Didn't take him long as he started in position #2. Took that lead down at corner 1 and 2 from the 2 machine of Landon Burbage. Burbage has been right there as well, but slid back here on this restart to that 3rd position. See if he can work himself back around Aiden Lucas, or Lucas, and try to go after our race leader, see if he can put himself to the front of the field. Paul LaCour back there in 4th. This Josh Ryder now working for that 5th position in the 5 ride, as he moves around the 57 of Grant Applegate. Brian Underwood also making some moves here, as well as the Gaston iRacing Graphics PSCRL machine, up 11 spots, now into 7th, is Ryan Haller right there behind him, and we see a little bit of a battle here at the front of the field. Here comes the 77 Aiden Lucas early in this run, looking for the race lead. Aiden Lucas down and out at quarter number 4 will jump in front of that 16 machine. He'll stay right there on his back bumper, but we get a new race leader here on lap number 13. As out in front, the 77, Aiden Lucas takes this race lead away from Matthew Wood. We'll have to wait and see if Wood can work himself back around that 77 right as he is right there. And they're starting to stack up here. All 4 of our top 4 right there. Nose through tail, looking to spread out down here through 3 and 4. The 16 looking for a big run up on the high side. They're going to go door to door once again. Look at them, almost 4 wide here at the front of the field. Woo, baby! We're seeing some good racing here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, as Matthew Wood. Didn't take him long, but he takes that race lead back away from Lucas. Lucas back there into second is Landon Burbage, and that 41 of Paul LaCourte right there ready to pounce. You see the 5 rider, Josh Crider, get up and scrub the outside fence on quarter entry here in quarter number 3. You don't want to do that too many times, and unfortunately, that kills a ton of his momentum and allow Grant Applegate to get back around him, and here comes that 6 ride of Brian Underwood. Underwood right there ready to pounce as well as he's looking to put himself up inside the top 6 here on the speedway for that 6 machine. He's going to take the outside line. It's a little loose right there, and will save it, keep that car pointing the right direction, and he'll take that 6th position away from the 5 of Mr. Josh Crider. Here comes Noah Blackwell as well. Blackwell had an EOL to start this evening. Had to start at the rear of the field for, unfortunately, driver error in a couple of races ago. And unfortunately, that penalty put him at the back of the pack. He was supposed to start up here in the 3rd position on the evening. Started back all the way in 24th, and here he is now up and inside the top 10 and looking to try to work himself towards the top 5 here early on in this race, making headway early as now you see the 5 ride starting to slide back a little bit farther as the 99 ride. Ryan Haller working down to his inside. The 88 of Dylan Carrier's right there as well. Carrier we saw go around in our opening lap. Saw the 88 machine bring up that first caution flag. He had heavy damage on that ride. The crew was able to get this car repaired and back out onto the speedway. He's been able to make some headway here and now working himself back inside the top 10 as well. As Dylan Carrier right there in that 9th position. You see Ben Gleason in the No Luck Motorsports number 66 right there behind him in the 10th position. Josh Crider, Thomas Horvath back there in the 12th position. Jordan Hand there in 13th with Farrell Robbins, Dallas Seward, Brenton Johns, Danny White, Kevin Winker, Jaden Porter, and Melvin Brenkruer rounding out our top 20. Then we see Nathan Brookover, Jonathan Gaston, Evan Stewart, Chris Stange, and Jordan Crider bringing up the rear of the field. But it's Matthew Wood at the front of the pack leading the way here in this one. Yo, FTN Broadcasting coming in, says, I'm your 1,000th subscriber. Let's freaking go, baby! FTN coming in, showing the big love, hitting that sub button, becoming the 1,000th subscriber here on Peacemaker Gaming. Absolutely insane. I appreciate that, brother. Coming in, showing the big love, smashing that subscribe button, becoming that 1,000 subscriber. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give yourselves a round of applause as if it wasn't for everyone tuning in, showing the love here each and every single one of these races, man. We wouldn't be here without you guys. So huge congratulations to the entire Peacemaker family. Hitting that newest goal. Now we got to work on another one. We got to work on it, continue to grow more and more and more. But hitting that 1K marker is a big one here for us on Peacemaker Gaming over on the YouTube channels. We're not only live over on YouTube, we're also live over on Twitch, and we're live over on Facebook. So make sure you guys go and show the love there on all the channels, on all the fronts here as we multi-stream every single one of these races. As getting more views, more eyes in the skies, and more fans in the stands here on all of your favorite streaming networks to be able to cheer on your favorite drivers. As we do see a little bit of contact and a caution flag coming back out here on the speedway. So caution flag number 3 is going to fly as it looks like Farrell Robbins potentially running into some issues. Kevin Winker in there as well. Let's take a look at it. Oh, the 76. Oh, the 5 rider in there as well. Heavy contact for a bunch of these drivers, and they continue to wreck down into corner number 1. Let's take a look back here and see what happened. How did this get started? I'm not sure if there was contact here a little earlier. Looks like the one of Jordan Hand's going to get a big run off corner number 4. He comes down to the inside of the 76, and then I'm not sure. It just looks like netcode right there. Honestly, look at that. Is absolutely wild. Netcode this big. This is going to be a wild sight right here, ladies and gentlemen. Watch the 76 ride. The one ride slowly coming back up the racetrack, but they're a couple feet away from each other, and it's netcode that kind of just gets the 76 sideways and loose right there. Gets contact with the one ride up and into the 5 of Crider right there. Nowhere for him to go. The 28 ride heavy damage as he drives into the side of him. That was Trenton Johns, and then they continue to wreck here into corner number 1 and 2, as well as the 5 ride going around. After the contact, he gets a piece of the 28, sends him up into the outside fence. Jordan Hand down low as the 5 and the 42 of Kevin Winker come together. The 1 down into the inside fence. Nowhere to go for Dallas Seaworth there as well. And a lot of good competitors all tied up here in this one as things get wild down here. We'll jump on board with the number 42 of Kevin Winker. See what he can see from the cockpit here as he's in behind this. Sees the smoke, sees the contact, and he's trying to stay underneath it, trying to stay around it, and all of a sudden the 5 right there onto his lap. Contact between him, the 5, and the number 1 machine down low, and luckily enough, everyone else able to roll around these drivers, having that issue down there in that first corner. Let's see if we can see a good look here from Farrell Robbins' perspective in that 76 as they're just going to go around right here. Yeah, that car just kicks sideways on him, and then he's trying to play catch up, and unfortunately, that's how quickly things happen here. This is never a good sight. Seeing all these drivers come head on right at you. Luckily enough, holds on to the brakes, does not walk down the racetrack and collect any more of our competitors as we'll get them ready to rock and roll here once again. Some drivers going to head down pit side. We do see the 5 ride of Josh Crider making another pit stop here, trying to get that car repaired. Farrell Robbins coming back down as well in that Band of Brothers 76 machine. Luckily enough, these drivers do have 1, maybe 2 quick repairs down there for them to be able to fix up their rides and be able to kind of get their cars, back together and back rolling out there on the speedway routes. We'd be already down quite a few drivers here on the evening as we saw early on lap number 1 down at a corner number 4, 88 ride, a little contact between him and the 5 ride sent him down into the inside fence. Heavy damage from the 88 ride. His night would be over if it wasn't for that quick repair. Same with a few of these other drivers. When we look back through the field, Trenton Johns, that contact that he received would have been enough to take him out of this one. Kevin Winker probably would have been able to continue on, but heavy damage. Same with Jordan Hand and Josh Crider. I think his night would probably be over. Same with Farrell Robbins, as they both had very heavy contact there in that last caution flag. As we do see the lights off, but now they're coming back on here, so it looks like we're going to get one more lap around the speedway, stacked up door to door here on the racetrack. As yo, Bones, what's good? Bones coming in, showing the love, says, yo, let's go, says Andrew, as Bones says, check the stats, that was me, I'm the 1,000, oh brother, it still says 999, yeah, it may just have to be refreshed. It may have to be refreshed. We may be at 1,001. No matter what, it was absolutely amazing, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming in and showing the love in this one. As 5 was dropping like a rock. The 5 was dropping like a rock. So I'm assuming tires are going to play a big factor here on the evening. So we see a couple of drivers that have pushed really hard early in this race, and now not having, the best tires out there on the speedway, they can start to slide back in a quick hurry. And unfortunately for some of these competitors, they may be in trouble. As we just saw a slew of drivers come down pit road and maybe taking some fresh tires themselves, maybe not trying to take those fresh tires. You always want to kind of save that extra set, maybe have that in your back pocket for later in this race. So the less tires you can use down pit road and save that extra set for late in this race could be a difference maker between having a mediocre night and having a really good night here at the racetrack. As the lights are off, the official iRacing safety vehicle, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as Matthew Wood getting ready for another restart. Landon Burbage back to his outside as Paul LaCourte there in 3rd. The 6 of Brian Underwood in that 4th position. Then we see Noah Blackwell, Aiden Lucas, Ben Gleason, Dylan Carrier, the 99 of Ryan Haller, in the 54 of Thomas Horvath, rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. The pace car going to make the hard left-hand turn down pit side, and we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here at Kentucky Speedway. It's down into the Geico restart zone. The 16 ride going to play a little bit of head games, going to fire a little later in the box and catch everybody sleeping. He was waiting, making sure that he was able to get every advantage he could down there as our race leader, and it works out perfectly for him as he quickly opens up a couple car length lead between himself and Paul LaCour. As LaCour able to get on that throttle a little bit sooner than the 2 machine, he's going to carry that momentum right up into that second spot, but the 2 Landon Burbage is going to try to stay there to his outside as they go almost door to door here at quarter number 4. They continue to battle here for second. It's almost allowing that number 16 of Matthew Wood to run away with this one, as the 16 ride trying to break a little bit of the draft that they're pulling off his back bumper. If he can get out in front by a couple more car lengths, he might be able to kind of pull away from these guys, as that draft is a big factor here at Kentucky, especially on this back straightaway. You can really draw into the back bumper of the car in front of you, where right now the 16 ride doesn't have that advantage. No one in front of him, but all these drivers back there behind them kind of using a little bit of bump drafting here and doing it back in, as the number 2 Landon Burbage, the 41 of Paul LaCour, knows the big down the front straightaway. You see Noah Blackwell now up into position number 4. This 9 ride has been looking very, very fast here throughout this feature, starting at the rear of the field, now up inside the top 4 here on the racetrack. Brian Underwood up 13 positions right there with him. And we see the 88 rider Dylan Carrier, who went to the rear of the field, had to get that car repaired after an opening lap wreck. And here he is back up inside the top 10, looking to try to work himself inside the top 5 here on the Speedway. Aiden Lucas, we saw strong and taking that race lead a few laps here himself in the Beyond detailing 77 ride. Now back into the 7th position here as Ben Gleason rolls there in the 8th spot, as Grant Applegate and Ryan Haller right there behind him. Dallas Seaver also up 13 positions here on the Speedway, and the Jordan number 38 ride rolling there in 11th as Jonathan Gaston there in 12th. Danny White and the Jack Daniels, number 79 ride, rolling there in 13th. And we see Melvin Brewer, Thomas Horvath, Ethan Brookover, Jaden Porter, Josh Crider, Jordan Hand, Dallas Stewart, Trenton Johns, Chris Stange, Evan Winker, Farrell Robbins, our top 24 here on the Speedway, as Jordan Crider still off the Speedway and back behind the pit wall. As Matthew Wood leads the way, all these drivers trying to hunt him down, trying to roll up and catch the back bumper of our race leaders. We'll take a quick look here, and we've got a couple webcams of these drivers. Let's see if we can hop on one of these drivers here and see what they're dealing with out there on the Speedway. Hopefully we got Dylan Carrier kind of lined up and ready to roll here in this one. Let's take a look here. Dylan Carrier behind the wheel of this number 88 ride as he's trying to work himself inside the top 5. You also see Grant Applegate right there as well. Grant going to be able to make the move down low here. Also one of those drivers with fresh tires, and he's making it work here as that Ricky Bobby Inspire, number 57 ride, jumps up inside the top 5 now on the Speedway. See him jump right onto the helmet cam here of Dylan Carrier. Give you a great look at what he's doing with the steering wheel, what he's doing here on the Speedway as well in that webcam. As he had a great look, not only with the helmet cam, but with the in living room camera up there as well, as you can really see him focused up, putting the wheel into this one, trying to navigate himself around some of these other drivers to work himself up towards the front of the field. A great look and a great perspective at these drivers and what they're doing. They're trapped here behind the wheel and trying to battle out there on the Speedway. You can see, oh man, how loose they get out there on the Speedway and how quickly things can happen here, and how focused these guys are, making sure they don't make a mistake, trying to stay perfect and trying to keep working themselves closer and closer to the front of the field. Huge shout here to all of our drivers, all the competitors here jumping in with these webcams, giving us a great look around the Speedway and what they're dealing with, what they got working out there on the racetrack. We got quite a few drivers that have jumped in here. They kind of come in every single week and give us some great views and some great looks at what they're doing here behind the wheel. So let's see if we get the whole driver's cam up here. I do believe we got the whole driver cam up here. Let me double check and make sure it's active so that way we can get you guys a good look at all the drivers out there. As Mama Bear says, wow, what a good restart. Yeah, great restart there for that 16 ride. And he's using it to his full advantage right now, looking to try to run away from everybody. So we get a great look right here at all of the driver cams here. All these drivers bombing around the speedway. Some will take it a little bit more leisurely, a little bit easier, a little bit less focused than others, but sometimes you get kind of in those lows. And you also see the foot cam there for Jordan Crider. I do believe it was Jordan Crider with the foot cam there as well. So you get a great look and great perspective there in that middle camera on the left at what these drivers are doing with their feet as well. As we do see the caution flag fly. Well, the caution flag gonna come back out here in this one, lap 36. We see that yellow flag once again here on the speedway. Now, I'm not sure if this was for a stage break or if we ran into issues. That stage break was lap number 40, but I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong in this one. All right, so that may have been for stage break right there. It does not show me any drivers spun around or drivers running into issues on the racetrack. So I do believe that is for a stage break, but I thought the stage break was lap 40. It's going to be an interesting one. Okay, I'm not too sure on what the caution flag was for, but nonetheless, all these drivers will get stacked back together and get ready to go back to battle here in this one. As each and every one of them, we're going to try to put themselves into victory lane. We're going to see a lot of drivers potentially coming down pit road right here. Have to wait and see if our race leaders take that lead. All these drivers down pit side for our potential of our first full field pit stops here all the evening. As so far we've seen a few of them come down, some of them not, as stages 35 and 85. Thank you, SSJ Logic coming in, giving us that update on that one. I appreciate that, brother. I thought it was 40 and 80 for some reason. I don't know where I was looking or what I read. That was 40 and 80, but glad we got the boys up in the chat to make sure they give us, everything perfectly. That way we don't make those mistakes in there. So that was the end of stage number 1. So extra stage points going to the 16 run of Matthew Wood. He'll say thank you to those. He'll head down to his pit box and look for a big stop right here, hoping that his Matthew Wood Motorsports rides and teammates here and all of his crew down pit road can get him in and out of here in a quick hurry, and still out in front of the 2 ride. It's going to be a close race off pit road, but it does look like Wood will continue on as the race leader here. Grant Applegate going to come out in second. He picks up a few positions here on pit road. Brian Underwood as well, picking up a couple spots as the 2 Landon Burbage loses a couple spots here. Dylan Carrier there in 5th. We see Noah Blackwell coming out in 6th. Paul McCourt back in 7th. Jonathan Gaston, Ben Gleason, and Ryan Haller are top 10 here on the speedways. They roll back out onto the back straightaway and catch up to our iRacing pace car. So we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Let's see if we can pull Mr. Wood up here into the broadcast booth here for quick little in-race interview after picking up that heat race win. That was a big win and a big drive there for him. Let's see if we can get him up here into the booth. Let's see. We should be able to get him up here. Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
Hello.
Matthew, brother, man, a great run and a great drive here in this first stage. You're going to get another stage win and put yourself, right here, earning those extra points, and also getting a great pit stop, coming back out in that top spot, being able to control another restart as you've had to deal with a couple of them and put a few tough competitors back there on your rear bumper. Man, take us back through that stage and how you got it done.
Yeah, the cars, I was definitely struggling at the beginning of the stage. The car wouldn't get out of turn 2 very well, and I was struggling compared to a lot of people in 3 and 4, but as the tires were, I got a little bit better. I'm fast, but I mean Landon is really fast, and Grant came up there with them fresh tires. He's not going to, fortunately, I don't think he's going to make the end of the race. He has another league that he has to go to. He's in the playoffs for, so He's just going in it for stage points, and yeah, I think his stage is just going to be about getting on pit road more than anything.
Absolutely. Now, do you think, we've already seen a few caution flags early in this race? Do you think that, those caution flags will continue, or we have to continue to kind of handle these restarts and keep these drivers at bay?
I mean, I'm known to be a little bit better at restarts, but, I have my teams here, so we'll see how it goes. Who knows? We might not even have another caution in stage 2. I doubt it, but, his car is completely day and night different, and it just changed, so everyone's still trying to get used to it. So we'll figure it out. But for the rest of the season, it is really, really strange how this car feels.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing how you guys can handle the changes and continue to run good and there on the speedways right now. It seems like you have to handle that 16 riding down in front of the field, looking fresh out there on the speedway always. And good look out there and see the rest of the race. And hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast room.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our race leader and stage 1 winner, Matthew Wood, is Wood. Out in front of this field, getting ready for another one of these restarts. He's got that very fast number 57 of Grant Applegate there to his outside. And as he was saying, Grant may not be here at the end of this race, not just because of, tire wear or strategy or anything else, because he's got another league race. He's in the playoffs for, unfortunately, they kind of overlap here, so he may have to head into that next race. And unfortunately, pull this one into the garage. No driver change for him, so we can't sub another driver in to get another car back, get the car back out there onto the racetrack. So unfortunately, just looking for these stage points here on the evening, trying to get as much as he can out of this race. So unfortunate break for Applegate, but still good to see him out there on the speedway and trying to get everything he can here in this one. As we get ready to go back to green flag racing, out in front, Matthew Wood down through the Geico restart zone, and another decent jump, but Applegate right there with them as the 16, it will clear now into corner number 1. That is a big advantage. Not having that car to your inside or your outside. Down here through that first and second quarters. Everybody else back there behind them, battling elbows up door to door, 2 by 2, down the back straightaway. Things start to get a little bit more crazy as we get closer and closer to the end of this race. And right now, everyone still kind of on that survival mode, but they're trying to get every inch they can, especially with these fresh tires. You want to make sure you make these fresh tires count. Now it's either going to be early in this run to work yourself through traffic, make some passes here, and try to navigate yourself to some fresh air here at the front of the field, or you gotta kind of keep it easy, keep yourself out of trouble, keep these tires underneath of you, and try to save a little bit of tire for later on in this stage. So we're gonna have 50 laps between the end of stage number 1 to the end of stage number 2. So it's a pretty sizable run right here, and if we don't see very many caution flags, we're gonna have to see how these drivers can handle the long run pace here at Kentucky. We didn't really see too many long runs. We saw about 15-20 laps there in that stage we run of green flag laps. So it's going to be wild to see who can kind of keep themselves out of trouble, these tires underneath of them, and continue on, pointed in the right direction and picking up speed out there on the speedway in this longer run. As right now, drivers laying down some great lap times. Landon Burbage just laid down his quickest lap time, the last time by the start finish line. Let's see if he goes even quicker here on this one. Doesn't get very faster, but we do see the 16 lay down a very quick lap time. His best lap time here of the race was right there. So our race leader just put down his quickest lap time of this one, and same as the 88 driver, laying down fastest lap times of the evening. Right here in this second stage, kind of getting the handle of these rides, kind of figuring these things out. As we heard from Matthew Wood, these things have changed completely since the update on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. We have the big update, and they kind of mess with these cars a little bit, made things a little bit more difficult, where these drivers are now trying to figure things out, trying to figure out what they need to do, how they need to navigate all the different adjustments, and how to kind of get back to where they were before this update. And right now, Everyone's still trying to figure that out. Everyone's still trying to figure out a game plan on how to attack the tire wear model, the new way that these cars handle out there on the speedway, and especially when it comes to a racetrack like Kentucky that's very, very fast. It's very hard to run around here and have those issues and not lose a lot of time on the speedway. So drivers that are struggling with the new update are going to struggle, unfortunately, quite a bit here at Kentucky, as hopefully throughout the evening they can kind of figure things out, get a little bit quicker and a little bit faster here throughout the evening, learning how to drive these beautiful, beautiful race cars on the speedway. As Matthew Wood out in front, you see slowly but surely closing the gap on him. That is the 2-rider Landon Burbage. Burbage chasing him down as Noah Blackwell up into position number 3. That's Dylan Carrier right there behind him in that 4th position. Applegate slides back to position number 5 here on the speedway is Brian Underwood. They're in that 6th spot on the speedway. Oh, baby, a little bit of contact. Drivers getting bent out of shape down the back straightaway. One of them being Jordan Hand, the other one, the 54, Thomas Hobart. Luckily enough, both drivers able to keep themselves put in the right direction. As Hobart battling here now with that 42 of Mr. Kevin Wanker in the Muhlenberger Custom Homes, number 42, the 28 ride of Trenton Johns right there as well. They're both going to roll around that number 54, Thomas Horvath, and put him back into position number 18 on the speedway. Nathan Brook over there in 19th is Evan Stewart there in 20th. Jaden Porter, Chris Stange, Dallas Seward, and Beryl Robbins bringing up the rear of the field here in this one, as we do see a couple drivers having some internet connection issues as they're on the speedway. Take a look at the 1-rider Jordan Hand. He's blinking quite a bit out there on the racetrack. A little bit here, a little bit there, and unfortunately that could really put him into a tough situation with other competitors trying to either make passes or trying to get around them. And we already saw him run into some netcode issues early in this race, and that connection can make that netcode even worse. So drivers, man, be very careful rolling around this 1-ride as the Optic Texas number 1 machine rolling out there on the speedway right now in the 12th spot, looking to try to split the middle between Danny White and Jonathan Ganner. The 77, Aiden Lucas right there in front of him. Jonathan Gaston, they're rounding out our top 10 in front of those 3, duking it out. It's now the 77 trying to reel in to the 72 as Gaston trying to hold on to that 10th position. The Beyond Detailing ride is going to work himself right down to the inside of the 72. So the Gaston's iRacing graphics ride going to go to battle door to door with the 77, but it looks like Aiden Lucas with a great run down through corner 3 and 4 will jump up and take that 10th position away. Paul LaCour right there in front of them is Ryan Haller, bringing up the rear of this top 8 right here as things start to get a little bit more separated on the speedway, especially up and through our top 10 is out in front. Matthew Wood continuing to lead the way. Landon Burbage there in second. Dylan Carrier now up into third as he's worked himself around the 9 ride. Noah Blackwell. Blackwell slides back to 4th as Grant Applegate trying to stick right there with him as our top 5 single find a little bit of a gap now between themselves and Brian Underwood here in position number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to crank it up here in stage number 2 with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. We crank it up here in stage number 2. right, as these drivers give us a great look at the sights and sounds here and around Kentucky Speedway here on the evening. And you check all these drivers jumping in here, giving us a great run and a great little bit of this sights and sounds around the speedways. Out in front, we get a lead change. A new driver at the front of the field. It is the 2 ride. A Landon Burbage taking the race lead away from the 16, a Matthew Wood. But here you go, green flag pit stops underway. Drivers headed down pit road as our 2 race leaders head down pit side first. They're looking to try to get the advantage of the fresh tires here as they roll out onto the speedways. Landon Burbage in the 16. A Matthew Wood, both down pit side. We'll have to wait and see how this strategy is going to work out for them. Is it going to hurt them? Is it going to help them? How is it going to put them farther into the front of the field here, especially if we see this run continue on as we roll closer and closer to the end of stage number 2. About 20 more laps left to go. So they're splitting this stage virtually in half, and they're getting some fresh tires onto their rides. You do see Paul LaCourte rolling back out onto the speedway. Now we see another wave of drivers head down pit side. Here comes Noah Blackwell, Dylan Carrier, both coming down pit side. We see Aiden Lucas, Jordan Hand, Melvin Brangruer all coming down pit side, as well as Jaden Porter in the Sim Racing Center 74 ride. So some more green flag pit stops here, and that's exactly what our race leaders Matthew Wood and Landon Burbage wanted to see. They want to see a ton of green flag pit stops. They want to see everyone coming down pit road as quickly as possible, as the longer and longer that drivers do not come down pit side, it's the more potential of a caution flag coming out, and it would trap both of these drivers a lap down out there on the speedway. Now, it's not going to be game over for them. If that happens, they will be able to get the wave around all the other drivers that are, currently on the lead lap and not off the lead lap. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are going to be able to kind of just navigate through the traffic here. They got a lot fresher tires than some of the other drivers around them. So as they kind of work themselves through it, trying to work themselves a little farther forward, right now they are running a lot better lap times than our race leaders. We'll see here in just a little bit. Last time around, Matthew Wood, Landon Burbage, both around the 31-second marker, where our race leader, Brian Underwood and Ben Gleason, they're running 32.80s out there on the speedway. So over a second and a half of an advantage here with those fresh tires compared to these older tires that the 6 ride and the 66 and about the next 11 drivers that have yet to come down pit road are running. So they're getting a ton of track position, a ton of track time here, and that could potentially propel them even farther forward here on the timesheet. We do see Dylan Carrier came right down as well, as you can't wait too long until these race leaders are down pit side there. They waited 1 lap around here, and they still fell back, a good amount of time here behind the top 2 cars there of Landon Burbage and Matthew Wood, and Wood able to use a better pit stop as well to give himself the race lead, as Landon Burbage now back in that what would be the second position here, as those are the 2 that were battling for the race lead. And now you see the 2 right, he's over a second behind that number 16 of Matthew Wood, but they're both still outside the top 10, still a lap down, as Brian Underwood continues to lead the way. Ben Gleason right there with them, the Team No Luck Motorsports ride rolling there in second. All these drivers looking to get some extra points here by leading some laps as well, so that's always an advantage. Staying out a little bit longer than the race leaders is to try to earn yourself that extra lap, led a little bit of an extra stat line for you, and also I do believe an extra point going for everyone that leads a lap here on the speedway. I could be wrong with that, but I do believe that is one of the extra bonus points that these drivers can earn here throughout the evening that could go a long way in their hopes of making it to the championship. But here you go, you see those fresh tires and how quickly the 16 rider Matthew Woods can be able to work himself around the 6 and the 66 on the speedway, making some big moves right there down through 3 and out of 4. He makes 2 passes and puts himself back onto the lead lap. So now he's kind of used those tire strategy to work himself all the way back around here, maybe back in front of the 6 run. Maybe it's going to be a strategy to stay out this entire break, this entire second stage without coming down pit side. I don't know if fuel will allow it, for the rest of the drivers that have yet to come down pit road, as you do see now Landon Burbage trying to work himself through the top two here on the racetrack, looking to put himself back onto the lead lap as well. There we go. He's going to make that pass. So he's now back onto the lead lap here on the speedway, as well as Noah Blackwell is now going to be the first driver 1 lap down. So Noah trying to work himself up and a little closer to our race leaders as well. He's got a lot of time to make up, though, to try to put himself around that 6 and 66 machine. And as the laps continue to click down, it may become more and more of a true factor here. These drivers may be able to make it this entire second stage without having to come down pit side. Now, I don't know if that strategy is going to play effect here in this race or not, or if they will have to make that pit stop. But that could mean major issues here for some of these other competitors that have come down pit side. They are a lap down. They are quite far back there, as even after that 15-20 laps before coming down pit side themselves, they're going to be giving up a lot of time when we go back to green flag racing. If they take the wave around, get themselves back onto the lead lap, you know, they're going to have a lot worse tires than everyone else. It'll come back down pit side here at the end of stage 2. So strategy going to play a major factor, and it may just be all smoke and mirrors right now, as we do see the 6th ride of Brian Underwood head down pit road. Ben Gleason down pit side as well. Ryan Haller, Danny White. Here comes all the drivers that were staying out, but we did see during that crank it up, Kevin Winker was saving some fuel. We saw that car rolling all around the racetrack, letting out the throttle a little bit earlier, cruising it down and just letting it roll through the corners here. And looks like he's still doing the same thing on the speedway, and he will now be our new race leader here. So maybe a little bit of strategy for Kevin Winker, maybe trying to get to the end of this stage without having to take that green flag pit stop, could potentially put him into a great position here at Kentucky Speedway's Nathan Brookover back there behind him. He was trying the same thing. He is now going to head down pit side. As what the hell, man? It's Helmet, number 8 rider Brookover down pit road. Jonathan Gaston still out there as well, yet to make a green flag pit stop in the Gaston's iRacing Graphics 72 ride. He's currently in that 3rd position, and you see that number 16 rolling up behind him right now. That is Matthew Wood. They're both going to pass Nathan Brookover, who's down pit road, but Gaston rolling the 2nd spot is going to lose that 2nd position to the 16 ride, as Matthew Wood steamrolls around him with those fresh tires, and he's looking to try to chase down our race leaders. Kevin Winker takes that hard left-hand turn down pit side. So here we go. Things are cycling through. Kevin Winker, one of the last drivers to make this green flag pit stop. Jonathan Gaston yet to come down pit road here himself. Maybe trying to stretch this field out even more. Maybe getting that late stop here in stage number 2 could potentially give him a fresh set of tires to start stage number 3 here. But he's got to be careful, as there you go. Caution flag. Caution on the speedway. Kevin Winker, I do believe, did get done his pit stops here, will stay on the lead lap. That may work out perfectly here for a lot of these other contenders, but may trap a lot of them back there a lap down on the speedways. The 8 ride. Brookover just coming back out onto the speedway now. I'm not sure if maybe the cold tires or maybe a loose tire on this 8 ride puts him into an issue here. There you go. Gets back onto the wheel right there. You see kind of hopping, unfortunately, hard down into the inside wall. Even just doing about 50 miles an hour. Still pretty heavy damage here for this number 8 machine, as I'm not sure. It just looks like cold tires getting back onto the throttle. This car just really starts to skid around. Unfortunately, kicks around and goes right into that inside fence. Man, that's a tough break for the 88 machine, as he will go back down pit side, and that will really mix things up here. That caution flag almost had drivers in the clear here of trying to stay on the lead lap, but I do believe a few drivers potentially may go a lap down here. They may have some issues on the speedway trying to rebound from it, as we do see Paul LaCourte, one of those drivers that is a lap down back there in the 41. Nathan Brookover still down pit road as he towed his car back down to the pit box here. That's probably going to put him a couple laps down in behind the rest of the lead lap cars as more drivers head down pit side. We see Jordan Hand, Farrell Robbins, Grant Applegate, Trenton Johns, Chris Stange also coming down pit road as well. So Stange making some bold strategies here for a lot of these drivers. This is going to be interesting because they're getting fresh tires, especially for a driver like that 57 of Grant Applegate, who we've already heard may not be able to be here at the end of this race with prior commitments for another league. He's looking for some stage points. He's looking to just try to put himself maybe into the top spot, earn himself as much points as he can here before the end of this race. And the best way he can do that right now is going to be with a fresh set of tires. Trying to work himself through the field here in these closing laps to put himself into a solid spot here at the front of the field, and he's not going to have a whole lot of laps to do this, as lap 79 going to get clicked off the board. Lap 80 is going to go back up onto the board here for these drivers, and we're going to go back to green flag racing with about 4, maybe 5 laps of green flag racing left until let's see if this light goes off. Light's still not off here, so it looks like we're going to get another lap around still as well, so things going to be even harder for the 57 riders. We're going to go back to green flag racing with about 3 laps, 4 laps of racing action until our stage breaks. So that's going to be pretty wild here to see if he can work himself up inside the top 10. As Bones says, "What the hell, man?" He says, "What the hell, man?" That's good, Bones. Bones coming in, showing the love all day in this one. I appreciate that, brother. As Casey Duran, my boy Casey, coming in, showing the love as well. What's good, Mr. Duran? Casey coming in, showing the big love here in this one. Says, "What up, boys? Can't wait for winter racing to start, brother. We can't wait for winter racing to start as well. Can't wait to see you guys back out there on the speedway and rolling out there on the racetrack." Is Casey coming in with the 50-star dono as well? Are you kidding me? Casey Duran coming in, dropping the 50 stars as well. And it's so good to have stars back again. It's so good to have stars back again. Being able to earn those donations again over there on Facebook, man, is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing, man. And we continue to keep on building our subscriber count, not only over on YouTube, but our supporter subscriber count over on Facebook and Twitch continues to go up, and we continue to gain more and more of our members group over on YouTube as well. We got a brand new members group there on YouTube as well. Hit that join button and take a look at all the perspective things that you can get with becoming a part of the Peacemaker members group over there on YouTube. As we get ready to rock and roll here once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got almost 30 viewers over there on YouTube. We only got 10 likes on the broadcast. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up here if you're enjoying the racing action here this evening. Jump into the comment section. Let us know who you're cheering for, who you want to see up in victory lane here this evening, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing, and there's only a couple more laps left to go here in this one. Oh, brother, things are gonna get spicy. The lights are still off though on this official iRacing pace car. This has been a pretty long yellow flag. I'm not sure what's going on here, but yellow flag continues to stay out, and now it was turned off for a second, came back on. Someone better breathalyze this pace car. Get the breathalyzer out. Make sure he's been staying out of the beer garden here at the Speedway, man. These lights have been off and on about 5 times here during this caution break, and these drivers are getting antsy. They want to go back to racing action. I know Matthew Wood probably doesn't want to, as he wants to hang on to this race lead and earn himself the extra points here for picking up the stage win. But as we get closer and closer to this stage, and if we go back to green flag racing, may only be a couple laps left for drivers to try to earn themselves those stage points. As Kevin Timmy, my boy Bubba, coming in with the like on the stream. Casey Duran coming in with that thumbs up as well here on the broadcast. Said got 5th in points in street stocks and rookie of the year. First year back in 8 years. Real racing, brother. Right, brother. In right, my dude. Casey, listen, brother, we've been seeing all your posts. We've been seeing, the ups and downs there of that 43C machine, man. And it's awesome to see that the season was a pretty good success for you, my dude. 5th place, some points. Never something to hang your head about. Being able to win that rookie of the year as well is absolutely amazing, as we do still see the lights turned off on the official iRacing pace car. So this one's going to be... This one's going to be extended here once again, as Momo Bear says, come on, number 16. Love his car. Yeah, a very beautiful car, especially with the Get Saved Racers for Christ number 16. There's a lot of drivers with the Racers for Christ out there on their run. We see the Lonnie Crider logo up in the top right. It's top right for me. It might be top left for you guys. I'm not sure how it looks. I think it's top right for you guys as well. But the Lonnie Crider cross up there as well. We appreciate Lonnie Crider, everything he does, and the Get Saved Racers for Christ group coming in and being a part of this series, and none of us would be here without our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and you see those crosses on a lot of these cars supporting this league here tonight. As we get ready to go back to battle, we get ready to go back to green flag racing here, as I do believe the pace car has made the hard left-hand turn, so we are going to go back to green flag racing. So the green flag coming out this time is down through the Geico restart, so we get ready to let these drivers back loose before the end of stage number 2 here on the evening. Matthew Wood with a great restart here in the 16 machine. Landon Burbage trying to stay right there with them as the 72 of Jonathan Gaston trying to hang on with some older tires here in that 72 ride. As we do see the 9, I know Blackwell work down to his inside. Here comes Aiden Lucas in the Beyond Detailing 77 ride there in the 5th position. He'll work underneath of that 72 for position number 4, and now he's looking for more. Is down across the line, gonna click up another lap. The 16 right of Matthew Wood, and in front by, he is getting hounded by that 2 right of Landon Burbage. Burbage looking for a way to get around him, trying to put himself into this top spot, but these drivers are putting on one heck of a race. His contact back there behind him. Second time here this evening, we see Melvin Brentgruer go around at a corner number 2. The caution flag is back out onto the speedway. So this will bring us to the close of our stage, as well as Matthew Wood going to go back-to-back here. He's going to win stage 1 and stage number 2 here on the evening. Landon Burbage will settle in for second as Noah Blackwell back there in third. Aiden Lucas, Thomas Horvath, our top 5 here on the speedway. As the caution flag coming back out, we will take a look and see what happened here. Because this yellow, we see the 84 right already turned around. Let's play this back a little bit farther. The 84, I'm not sure if things just get a little tight here, maybe a little neck coat again, and no, it just looks like he's going to get loose. Right here, the rear end of that 84 ride, stepping out and around on him. He's trying to save it, trying to get his car pointed back in the right direction. The 99 going to steamroll up and around him here to try to avoid him, but the 84, unfortunately, finally gets it corrected. The car goes straight, and as it does, he gets up into the 99 ride. We also saw the 66 ride into the outside fence as well. That stacks things up on the outside lane. Well, this 84, hard contact again into that inside fence, and he just bounces right off the safer barrier and right back up the racetrack. Look at Paul LaCour. Look at Dylan Carrier trying to get out of there. Couldn't quite get out of the way. Heavy contact for the 88 rider Dylan Carrier as well there. Man, Carrier just had nowhere to go right here, man. He's just trying to keep himself out of trouble, and unfortunately, trouble found him in a quick hurry. Let's see if we can take a look here at what happened for this 88 as he sees this happening in front of him, sees the smoke, sees the drivers running into issues, and then, oh, man, just trying to stay up and out of the way, and unfortunately the 84 bounces right off that wall and right back in front of this 88 ride. See him way down there. He's hoping that he's going to hang on to the brakes and not slide up the racetrack. The 41 ride able to get the power down and just avoid him, but no such luck for this 88 machine of Dylan Carrier, and that one's going to hurt him, as I do believe he's already used his quick repair here on the evening. And we do see everybody come down pit road here during this caution break to get some fuel and tires onto their rides and back out onto the speedway. But we'll take a look here at Ben Gleason as well. Ben Gleason had some issues here almost at the same time. I'm not sure if there was oil or something on the racetrack here, but Ben Gleason through the same spot. You see the 5 ride right there as well, sideways as well on the speedway. Seems like a few drivers running into issues down there on the bottom spot of the racetrack. I'm not sure if oil came in there and slicking this racetrack up down there on the bottom side of 1 and 2, but you see the Premium Stock Car Racing League Team No Lock number 66 Ryan getting a little bit of contact there with that outside fence. Luckily enough, was able to hang on to it and keep himself pointed in the right direction, but fortunately for Melvin Brangruer and the 88 of Dylan Carrier, no such luck for either of those drivers, as Dylan ends up making hard contact there at the inside wall as well. He takes that car right down pit side as we'll get him stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. As now we see some different pit strategies for these drivers. Is out in front, it's Ryan Haller. now leading the way with Danny White in second. The beautiful number 42 ride, the Muleburger Custom Homes machine of Kevin Winker up into third with Dallas Seward. They're in fourth. Noah Blackwell up into fifth as Trenton Johns there in the sixth position. Matthew Wood now back into seventh. Farrell Robbins, Landon Burbage, Chris Stange, our top 10 here on the Speedway, really mixing things up here for this restart to start our final stage of the evening. Casey says, gotta make sure you're gonna be our broadcast guy for 2024-2025 for Montana winter season. Who should I root for? Listen, brother, there's too many good drivers out there on the racetrack to really root for one car out there on the Speedway, man. Just toss it up, man. Cheer for a bunch of them. Cheer for all of them. That's what I can do. It's the only thing I can do is cheer for all of them, man. I want to see each and every one of these drivers have, you know, great runs and wins and everything else. Unfortunately, every race only, you know, one driver can pick up a win. Only, you know, a handful of competitors can have good runs out there on the Speedway, or, you know, good top fives, good top tens. So it's very, very hard to pick and choose. You can't pick a favorite. You know, that's biased. You can't have a favorite out there for myself. But man, it's wild to see these drivers battle each and every night, man. It's always great to see new drivers up here inside the top 3, up inside the top 5, and new cars up here into victory lane. And right now, Ryan Haller looking to be one of those new drivers up into victory lane here in that 99 ride, as he's going to get ready for another restart here on the evening. But this time, he's at the front of the field. He is the control car. He gets to choose when he fires down through the Geico restart zone, and he gets to try to hold off the rest of the field that's back there behind him as we get ready to rock and roll. We get ready to set these drivers loose. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go, as the Premium Stock Car Racing League about to put on an absolutely amazing show for us here in this one. As Kurt says, I like a parade as much as the next person, but come on, let's go, he says. Yes, Sirski. Top right, bro, he says. Top right. Yes, Sirski is SSJ Logic coming in, says, yeah, I'm not racing anymore. People don't know how to stay off the track when wrecking. Yeah, that's a tough break for you, Dylan. Tough break for you, brother. That's a heartbreaker, my boy. That's a heartbreaker, man. We saw that contact early in the race, having to use that quick repair, not having it in your back pocket late in this race, man, and taking you really down pit sign for an extended period of time is tough to even try to rebound from itself. I mean, to be able to get enough wave arounds and everything is going to be almost impossible. As we go back to Green Flag Racing down through the Geico restart zone, a great restart there for Ryan Haller. Haller quickly onto the loud pedal, and he may be hollering at the rest of the field to stay out of his way as he is steamrolling here at the front of the field and looking to try to drive himself into victory lane. As already see some moves, Matthew Wood, Noah Blackwell, both down here on the bottom side of the racetrack, making quick work of some of these drivers, as the 16 going to squeeze himself right up in front of that 9 machine and Noah Blackwell. Already up inside the top 4 for that number 16 machine, and the beautiful Racers for Christ Ryan looking to try to work himself back inside the top 3. He's got Kevin Winker right there in front of him. Winker up the racetrack for hard contact. Around goes Noah Blackwell. Heavy wreck down here at a corner number 2. Nowhere to go for Jaden Porter, also getting collected in this one, but the NJB Designs number 9 right with a big wreck here in corner number 2. Heavy damage here for Noah Blackwell, and the caution flag definitely back out into the air. Let's see if we can get another look at this one, as looks like he's already sideways. Maybe the bottom side of 1 and 2 looks like it is becoming very treacherous for these drivers. Nyride kind of kicks out the rear end just ever so slightly, taps the door panel of the 38 at Dallas Seward. He goes up and over the nose of the 38 right there. Watch that contact into the outside fence. Dallas Seward getting pretty good damage into that one as well. Trenton Johns, heavy damage as well. The 3 Chi Machine, as man, here comes that 74 of Jaden Porter, and unfortunately everyone else able to avoid him except for that 74. The hood goes flying off. Heavy damage for both of those competitors. Let's see if we can jump on board here with this number 74 of Jaden Porter. See if we can get a look here from the helmet cam of this number 74 run. Let's take a look here. There we go. So we're going to see that number 9 right up ahead of him go around and up into the outside fence. He tries to go to the outside to avoid, and then tries to go back down to the middle. Unfortunately, carrying all that momentum, could not get down low quick enough, and he slams right into Noah Blackwell. This is a heavy hit at high speeds around Kentucky Speedway. Corner number 2, getting back into the throttle, looking to try to roll and carry this momentum down the back straightaway. Unfortunately, he's just full throttle, and bam, right there into that right rear quarter panel, rear end of the 9 ride-in. Heavy contact, heavy damage for both drivers out there on the speedways. You see the 9 machine down pit side, getting tons of repairs done. The 28 ride also getting a piece of that one. He's down pit side. He's getting work done to his car, as well as the number 74, Jaden Porter. Porter does get that quick repair, though, and keeps on rolling on the speedway. So a good break for him, but a tough break for a lot of our other competitors there. The number 9 of Noah Blackwell having a great run. He's unfortunately now parked down pit road, as we do see Grant Applegate, Melvin Brangruer, and Dylan Carrier all off the speedway as well. So we've already lost 3 other drivers here on the evening. Jordan Crider unfortunately never got out there onto the speedway. He was in the session but never started this race for the 69 machine, the rubbered up ride, as the rubbered up productions machine not out there on the speedway, but everyone else running into some issues here in this one. We do see the Hellman's number 8 ride, and Nathan Brookover getting back out onto the racetrack, so good to see him back out there. But there's going to be some whiplash here for a lot of these drivers out there on the evening, as ouch, says Bones. Ouch is the correct terminology right there. That one definitely hurt, man. That was a tough one right there, as Kurt says, I think I got whiplash just watching that wreck. Yeah, I can feel that. I can feel that right here, brother. I can feel that right there. No, just kidding. NJB Designs, Mr. Blackwell himself says, got net coated, brother. We've seen it quite a few times here in this race already be a factor out there on the speedway. So without a doubt, definitely, I could see that. We also see the 9, or our race leader, the 99, right here before that as well, gets loose. I'm not sure if it's just corner 1 and 2 here at Kentucky, but it is looking very hectic here for a lot of these drivers. We've been seeing drivers skid through here quite a bit over the last few laps, and it becomes worse and worse here as we take a look here. Noah Blackwell in this 9 ride, rolling the bottom side of the speedway, and I don't know if it's the neck coat or what, but you can see that car kind of glitch in the rear end, out and up, and kind of just bounces off the imaginary wall of the 38 ride, and it kind of hooks them in right up and around. And oh, man, heavy damage there for the 28 of Trenton Johns there as well. And heavy damage for both the 9 and the 28. And then the 74 of Jaden Porter, who slides in here and, oh, man, just cleans them out even more, man. That is a tough break for all those competitors. As we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, it's Ryan Haller at the front of the field. Haller, if you're cheering on Mr. Ryan Haller out there on the racetrack, as he gets ready for another big restart with Kevin Winker now to his outside. Matthew Wood right there on his back bumper. Then we see Danny White and Landon Burbage rounding out our top 5 here on the speedway. Dallas Seaworth there in 6 with Josh Crider, Thomas Horvath, Ryan Underwood, Chris Stange, our top 10 here on the speedways. My boy Derek coming in, showing the love here in this one as well. Says Peacemaker with another great broadcast. I appreciate that, Derek, coming in, showing the big love here in this one. How are you tonight, brother? Hopefully you guys enjoyed, season 2. First race of season number 2 last night with the MNT Cup Series. Beautiful race there with the Cup cars last night, and it was great to see all those drivers back out there on the speedway, Homestead, Miami, and man, it was a great run, great race, and some craziness there at the end, but really made things exciting and really made things fun for our season opener, season 2 of the MNT Cup Series. My boy Derek Cat, the man with the plan, the master man there, putting that all on and getting season number 2 underway, and man, it was a lot of fun. SSJ Logic says netcode has been horrible since the update. Has it been horrible since the update? I haven't really seen. I've seen a couple wrecks already in a couple different leagues of the netcode, but I've seen a lot more here tonight for certain. It's been definitely really bad. We saw it earlier on with the one right at Jordan Hand, and I do believe it was. I don't think it was the 80. I can't remember who he got into it with, but unfortunately they went around in heavy contact for a lot of drivers. Maybe it was Farrell Robbins that might have got collected in that one. As we go back to Green Flag Racing here at Kentucky Raceway. It is quickly the 99 rider Ryan Haller who's going to lead us down into quarter number 1. Haller out in front, but here comes Matthew Wood trying to chase him down here into that second spot as he's made quick work after those caution flag pit stops. He's been able to kind of bounce around and make some moves and went from about the 8th position now back up into second here in a few short green flag laps, and he is quickly chasing down our race leader Ryan Haller, trying to put himself back to the front of the field. So isn't Landon Burbage. Is Burbage right there in position number 3. They've been two of the best cats out here on the speedway all evening long. Kevin Winker doing a great job hanging on to position number 4 as he's got John Crider in that 5 ride right there behind him. Brian Underwood back there at 6 with Danny White back to 7th. That'll see where they're in that 8th position. Thomas Horvath there in position number 9, and Chris Stage still rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. Beryl Robbins there in 11th as the team No Luck Motorsports number 66 of Ben Gleason works things inside. The 72 of Jonathan Gaston back there in 13th with Jordan Hand still blinking out there on the speedway, currently in that 14th position on the racetrack. And then you see Evan Sewer rounding out our top 15 here on the track. Paul LaCour, Jaden Porter, Aiden Lucas, Nathan Brookover, and Noah Blackwell rounding out our top 20 here on the speedway. Multiple laps down low now for that number 9 ride of Blackwell. Trenton Johns still down pit side, and then we see Grant Applegate, Melvin Brandbrewer, and Dylan Carrier off of the speedway here in this one. Matthew Wood able to make quick work there of the 99. Ryan Haller quickly sliding back now into the 6th position as out in front Matthew Wood takes this race lead back away. Landon Burbage right there in position number 2, and Kevin Winker hanging with them here in that 3rd spot. The Muleburger Custom Homes Sonic Graphic Designs number 42 hanging on here to position number 3. Not letting those top 2 run away with this one as Brian Underwood now up into 4th. Crider there in 5th as Haller slides all the way back to the 6th position. See Danny White, Thomas Warbarb, Chris Stage, and Dallas Seward now rounding out our top 10 as Seward up into the outside fence a little bit down the back straightaway. Going to open up the door for the 1 rider Jordan Hand to try to jump up and jump into position number 10 here himself in that NJB Designs Optic Texas number 1 machine. Seward slides back though, now battling with the No Luck Motorsports 66 rider Ben Gleason as Gleason trying to put himself back inside the top 10 on the speedway, but everybody is chasing down the Racers for Christ number 16 of Matthew Wood. Is Wood continuing to lead the way here at Kentucky Speedway. He's down through quarter 3 and out at quarter number 4. He'll get ready to click off another lap. It's down across the line. 100 laps of racing action complete here at Kentucky. That means we got 67 laps of racing action left here on the evening, and that means we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. So crank up that volume. Cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here at Kentucky Raceway. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here to all these drivers. Another beautiful crank it up here for the Premium NASCAR Racing League. As some green flag pit stops starting to get underway, these drivers out there battling on the racetrack. No one giving up, no one giving an inch. Out there on the speedway creating some great racing for all of us to enjoy here on the evening. And yes, absolutely, Kurt and Bones, I agree with both of you. This is such an amazing racetrack, man. This track is absolutely one fun speedway for these drivers to compete on, and NASCAR definitely needs to come back here, man. This is a very, very fun racetrack. I do believe they used to have this in like the first round of the NASCAR playoffs, and it created, you know, quite a bit of, you know, controversy, quite a bit of craziness that would happen between all of those races, man, and that was a ton of fun to see these guys continuously battle and duke it out and everything else here in real life NASCAR, and just the same here in iRacing as well, man, is a lot of fun here on the evening. As J Logic says, I didn't realize what chat you was in, and I almost jumped into the booth with you. Whoops. Listen, brother, that would have been a little bit scary. I probably would have given me a little bit of a jump scare, but you know, I would have been all right with it. I would have been all right with it. If you want to jump in there, if you're in the Discord still, Dylan, I will pull you in if you want to jump in here and give us a, you know, a play-by-play, you know, how to roll around this speedway, you know, some of the markers that these drivers getting onto the brake pedals, you know, how they're navigating around the speedway here. Give us a little bit of an in-car look, a little bit of a, you know, a driver aspect of what these guys are doing out there on the speedway. Yes, 50 laps left to go here in this one, and now we start to see green flag pit stops once again. I'm assuming drivers are going to be probably coming down here, splitting the stage into 3 kind of deal, where they're going to probably come back down again, maybe in another 25 laps, 30 laps from now, and then run out the next little bit. Or I feel a lot of drivers are going to try to split it in half here, where they're going to try to go from, what, lap 85, we went back, green flag racing, probably around lap 88-ish or so, somewhere in there. So they're looking at probably around lap 130. If they can get there, then they're probably going to come down pit side and split the stage completely in half and try to make it to the end. And hopefully enough, they have enough fuel. Hopefully they have enough tire for late in this race for a potential green-white checkered, as you never know when these late race caution flags are going to fly and how often we see it in real life NASCAR, and it happens here on the simulator as well. Late in these races, late in these runs, certain drivers start to fall off, other drivers really start to speed up, especially when you get different tires out there on the racetrack. We just saw Dallas Seward blow right by our race leaders in the 38 ride, and he's pulling away from them, so that difference of speed can create a little bit of contact. As now you see Landon Burbidge looking for the race lead. The battle at the front of the field is the 2 ride. Gonna jump up into the top spot. Matthew Wood gonna slide back here to second. We saw this in the end of stage number 1 as well, where this number 2 ride seemed to really come alive, especially later in the run. So either just having a better long run setup or just saving these tires a little bit better than that 16 ride of Matthew Wood can out there on the speedway. And right now, the 2 is using it to his advantage to lead the way as he jumps up and takes his race lead away. Matthew Wood now having to kind of regather himself, trying to stick right there on his back bumper. Not let that 2 ride get out of hand here. Let him get too far in front of him, as they know green flag pit stops are going to come up in a quick hurry. Now, the big question could be, you come down a little bit earlier. We see drivers right now pitting early, like Kevin Winker. We see the Muleberger Custom Homes, the Winker Nation 42 ride, head down pit side. Do we see Winker, you know, potentially leapfrogging our race leaders, but then them catch them late in this race? Or do we see a caution flag come out that could trap a lot of drivers that pitted early, a lap, maybe 2 laps down behind our race leaders? It'll be wild to see how this one plays out and how this all cycles through here once again. As SSJ says, I'm just chilling, muted till the action comes a little bit. I feel you, brother. I feel you. I feel you, my dude. It's out in front. We see that number 2 rider, Landon Burbidge, trying to open up a little bit more of a lead here in this one, as Burbidge is, man, he's been looking good. He's been looking fast here all evening long. Continues to find more and more speed in this 2 ride. And, man, he's navigating this racetrack very easily now. We do have Dylan Carrier up here in the booth with us. Dylan, brother, take us kind of through here around a lap at Kentucky Speedway and what the difference on kind of saving some tires that we see the 2 ride using his advantage in this longer run compared to the 16 of Matthew Wood.
Yeah. Well, from the very start, I mean, you just kind of want to be a little careful in 1 and 2. You don't want to go in there full throttle, especially with the way the car handles now since the update and with this setup that we're running tonight. You can kind of be a little bit cautious in 1 and 2, but keep, you can kind of keep your speed depending on how you arc it. If you arc it correctly and you can get in there, you can hold it about 65, 70% throttle and you can kind of just cruise. And in 3 and 4, I mean, you can see multiple people running different lines as you see, Landon's up high, Matthew's down low. And I mean, you don't want to run too high. You'll scrub your tires a little bit more running too high, but I feel like you can run just a lane off of that black strip there of pavement and you can carry a lot of speed and not really burn your tires. If you really want to save, you want to hug the yellow, in my opinion. But I mean, that's one way to do it. That's how I was doing it. I'm assuming that's how other drivers are doing it. That's how I found to be effective in practice. And I mean, it seems like that's what they're doing in the race too. Everyone's pretty much down low, and it looks like your leaders are coming down pit road. I don't know how far back the stream is, but it looks like your leaders.
They are headed down pit side right now. So green flag pit stops for Matthew Wood and Landon Burbage, and then we see Farrell Robbins, Chris Stange, Evan Stewart also coming down pit road now. Honestly, we see quite a bit of tire fall off here at the Speedway, even on these not really super long runs. We see these drivers go, 20, 30 laps here or so before we see them come down pit side and get fresh tires or get fuel. So tires playing a big aspect in this race. How tight does fuel get? How many laps can these guys run without having to worry about fuel mileage here on the Speedway?
Yeah, fuel's about 39 laps, and tires do wear, but they don't wear as much as I thought they would. They, after that first round of green flag there to first stage, my tires were only at 80%. But that 80%, that is a big difference. I mean, fresh tires, you can really rip around here. Old tires, I mean, yeah, they don't seem that warm, 80%. But yeah, no, the fresh tires makes a huge, huge difference here at Kentucky.
Absolutely. So seeing our race leaders come down pit side around lap 127, 126 here. You said that fuel mileage can get you around 30 laps out there on the Speedway. So they came down with about 40 laps left to go in this race. Do you think that there's enough that they can kind of, roll around a little bit, save that extra little fuel that they may need? And can they save enough fuel in this 40-lap run to the finish to potentially be A-OK in a late race caution flag and a green-white checkered finish where we go past the initial 167 laps?
If there's a caution that comes out, they can definitely save enough as long as it's not too late in. If there's a green white checker, they'll have to pit. I know after my first pit stop I had 39.5 laps of fuel coming out of pit road, so I mean it's very, very close. I don't doubt that they could save that much, but it all depends on when the caution comes out. Caution comes out with 15, 20 to go, then yeah, they can definitely save enough to the end. But if there's any green white checkers, then I don't have a doubt in my mind that they'll have to at least pit the top off just a little bit.
Absolutely. So maybe a bold strategy here for some of these other drivers that are staying out a little bit longer, a little bit later in this run right now, where their tires are fading away more and more and more. They're giving up that track time on the Speedway, where we see obviously our race leaders blowing by, the race leader, Jordan Hand, as we just saw Matthew Wood go right on around him, same with Kevin Winker. So they're going to lose a little bit of track time here with this later run strategy, but it could play out perfectly into their hands if all these drivers that try to short pick here a little bit before that 40-lap marker, where they can make it. If we see that green-white checker, they could be sitting in the catbird seat here on the Speedway by coming down pit road a little bit later in this race, in which case could hurt them on the short-term run. They can get it back a little bit later in this, as obviously the different pit strategies between short pitting and long pitting, at any racetrack, especially when tire fall off is such a factor, can really play havoc here on the way that other drivers have to race this race.
Yeah, and it also depends on who saved that extra set. I mean, that was my strategy. I was just gonna make one set last from stage 1 to stage 2, and I mean that's what I ended up doing until the inevitable. But I mean, that also depends that if there's a late race caution, who has that extra set in the bag?
Absolutely. That extra set of tires, being able to have that in your back pocket. A little bit of a wild card late in this race if you're able to save that extra set back there behind pit wall. It'll be interesting to see, but Mr. Dillon, it was great to have you up here in the booth jumping in with us. I'm going to jump back down to the broadcast booth here and get ready for the rest of this race, but we thank you for jumping up here and giving us a driver's perspective throughout this race, brother. It was a tough break for yourself, but you know, we'll see you back out here next week and hopefully right back up in the front of the field.
It's fun racing with all these guys, even though sometimes stuff like this happens, but you know, I mean, hey, you're doing a good job, racers are doing a good job, and I'm glad that we can put on a show for you guys.
Absolutely, brother. Well, thank you for hopping in here, and we can't wait to see you back out here next week.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Dylan Carrier. Good sport there, unfortunately, out of this race. After a couple hard hits, a couple tough breaks out there on the speedway. But being a good sport, jumping up here into the booth with us, giving us a good inside look inside the mind of one of these drivers out there on the speedways. My boy, Lance Brantlinger. Lance coming in, showing the love here in this one. What's good, Lance? Lance says, what's up, brother? Looking quite dapper. My boy, I appreciate that. We are definitely looking dapper. We got a dress to impress here on Peacemaker Gaming, especially as we just hit that 1K marker here on YouTube as well. Just hitting 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. I appreciate every one of the viewers, everyone coming in, showing the love, hitting that subscribe button, becoming a part of our journey here at Peacemaker Gaming to be, you know, one of the best and brightest here in iRacing and all things motorsports and all things broadcasting here and some of the other stuff as well. As Bone says, 1 and 2 are sketchy. 1 and 2 are definitely sketchy. We've seen a lot of drivers slipping and sliding down there through that first and second corner. You see a little bit more shade down there in 3 and 4 on the speedway. Maybe that extra little bit of sun still just causing a little havoc here in 1 and 2, making this track still a little bit slick, but it's starting to get shaded as well. That's going to lower track temperature, but right there, the sun's still beaming down on the speedway, and I think that may be causing drivers issues, especially with drive off of those center corners. As Lance coming in says, that's fantastic, man. Well deserved. I appreciate that, Lance. I appreciate you, brother, coming in, showing the love. We can't wait for the Outcast Racing League to be back in action. Not this Sunday. I do believe we're still off this week, and I know the boys are probably going to get some practice races going on tomorrow night, so anyone that wants to run Sundays with a amazing NASCAR League at 4 o'clock Eastern time, well, lobby opens at 3, practice runs an hour, racing starts at 4 o'clock Eastern time for the Outcast Racing League. Get a hold of me and I can point you in the right direction, get you in on the action for the Outcast Racing League. Because I do believe we're off this week. Next week we will be right back into racing action, so should be a lot of fun. Should be a great time to have all the Outcast Racing League drivers back in action on Sundays. We do see the 6th ride of Mr. Underwood head down pit side here in this one, so he's going to forfeit that race lead over to Josh Crider. Crider will now be at the front of the field as once again having this little bit longer of a run. He's given up a lot of time here on the speedway to those fresh tires, but in turn, he can have the fastest car on the speedway when he comes back out onto the racetrack here. And not only that, he can make sure he's got enough fuel to make it to the very end of this race if we have, you know, 1 or 2, caution flags late in this race. If we see a couple green, white, checkered finishes, drivers that came down closer to that, 40-lap marker out there on the speedway, they may be running a little bit short. They may be cutting it short. They may have enough for maybe 1 attempt in NASCAR overtime. But if we get into 2 or 3, they may have to make their way down pit side where these drivers could potentially leapfrog them and get back in front of them, as we do see Matthew Wood regain this race lead. So Wood back out in front. Landon Burbage right there behind him in position number 2. You can see Kevin Winker right there with him. Winker doing a great job in position number 3 as the Winker Nation ride rolls there in the 3rd spot. We see Ryan Haller up into position number 4. Then we see Danny White back here in that 5th spot on the speedway. Thomas Horvath there in position number 6 here on the speedway with Farrell Robbins back there in 7th. Evan Stewart there in 8th with Jonathan Gaston. And Ben Gleason rounding out our top 10 in the No Luck Motorsports number 66 ride. Paul LaCourte there in 11 with Dallas Seward back in 12. Jaden Porter in the 13th spot here on the racetrack. Then we see the 77 ride right there behind him. That is Aiden Lucas in the Beyond Detailing 77 ride, going for a little drift there through corner number 2, able to carry that momentum, keep that car pointing in the right direction as he rolls out there in that 14th spot on the speedway. Then you see this 5 right, Josh Crider back out there onto the racetrack. Brian Underwood right there with them as they roll back in the 15th and 16th position. We'll have to wait and see if these fresh tires can help them back to the front of the field here. Right now, they are a lap down to our race leader, Matthew Wood. Down across the start-finish line now has Kevin Winker pressing him here. Winker finding another gear here in this race. He was able to work himself around Landon Burbage. Burbage back into position number 3 now as Matthew Wood has a new driver in his rearview mirror and putting the pressure onto his back bumper late in this race. It's the Muleburger Custom Home Sonic Graphic Designs number 42. But Kevin Winker trying to jump up here and knock this 16 on Matthew Wood out of the top spot here this evening. As Lance Brantlinger says, I'm ready, man. Going to be a little rusty. Haven't raced much since. Laugh out loud. Listen, brother, you know, we'll knock the rust off in a quick hurry. I know the boys over there at ORL, man, Outcast Racing League, they're gonna put on some more races, I'm sure, throughout the next week and a bit before race number 1. You guys are gonna be getting a lot of practice in, and having that 1 hour practice session before the race as well is definitely a blessing, because you guys can get out there, run a lot of laps, be able to really take things easy and be able to kind of maneuver yourself, knock a little bit of that rust off out there on the racetrack, as we do see that number 42 is starting to slide back here a little bit more from the back bumper of that 16 as Matthew Wood starting to put it into another gear, pulling away from Kevin Winker. Winker getting a little bit loose there, trying to stay out of the outside wall off of corner number 2, and it's going to kill a little bit of his momentum, allow this number 16 to open up a little bit more of an advantage here as Wood looking to try to pull away and pull himself into victory lane again here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Kevin Winker there in second. We see Landon Burbage there in third. Ryan Haller, Danny White, our top 5 out here on the speedways. All these drivers doing a fantastic job out there on the racetrack, giving us a good look and a good sights out there on the speedway on what they're doing, how they're navigating around the racetrack, and really putting themselves into what could be a very good day here, man. A lot of these drivers have ran into issues throughout this season. You look at the 99 right, Ryan Haller, man, he's had some very tough breaks in this season, and we do see the 99 down onto the apron. He's going to make another pit stop here. He was one of those drivers that came down a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit too soon, or maybe trying to run this into a 3 pit stop final stage here. He's going to come down pit side. He's going to give up a lot of track time here, more than likely going to go a lap down, but he's going to come out with one of the freshest sets of tires on the racetrack, where he's going to be able to make up a lot of ground in a quick hurry as the tire fall off. For a lot of these drivers, already dipping them down in underneath of the 32-second marker. So when you look at drivers like, Josh Crider, have that extra set of tires, you see Brian Underwood, some of these drivers that were back there a little farther, Aiden Lucas, they're running 31-second lap times. They're gaining a ton of track position on these other competitors out there on the speedway right now with this fresh set, as we do see Danny White back down pit side, Farrell Robbins down pit road as well in that 76. So different pitch strategies playing out here at Kentucky Speedway, and it is going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out, as now we see Kevin Winker to the front of the field. Winker jumps up and takes this race lead away. Matthew Wood back to second. Oh, brother, let's take a look here and see what happened as Winker was sliding back here. All of a sudden, he finds another charge. I'm not sure if the 16 gets loose somewhere. No, just the number 42, Kevin Winker. All of a sudden, storming back, mounts another challenge. Pulls up to the back bumper of this 16 ride. Matthew Wood pulls up the racetrack, tries the middle lane here, and the 42 is just going to drive it in there deep, slide up in front of him, and take this race lead away with absolute force. And here you go. He is pulling away now from that 16 ride of Matthew Wood. Wood all the way back here in the second spot. He's back about 1.2 seconds behind our race leader, Kevin Winker. Some of the lap down cars that are trying to get themselves back onto the lead lap. That is the 5 of Josh Crider. Brian Underwood right there as well. They're looking to get themselves back into contention and back onto the lead lap here this evening. But it's Kevin Winker who's going to come down pit side now late in this race. Oh my gosh, the pit strategies are just absolutely mind-boggling here this evening. And that's exactly what the 16 ride might be doing, as Kevin Winker has to come down pit road. Matthew Wood will reconsume this race lead, and he has a huge advantage. 5 seconds between himself and Landon Burbage. Burbage, as soon as he came back out onto the racetrack, it seemed like he was off the pace. He was right there battling with that 16 ride for this race win all evening long, but then kind of fell back here throughout this run, trying to save a bunch of fuel. And this is potentially going to fall into his lap. If Matthew Wood had to push the subject there to try to hang with that 42 of Kevin Winker for too long, he may have burned up a lot more extra fuel. He may not have saved enough fuel here at the end of this race. Now he's going to have to try to save and gain a ton of fuel here over the next 15 laps or so. So it's going to be wild to see if he can gain that fuel, if he can have that in his back pocket to still bring this car back across the start-finish line, and if he's still trying to save. Landon Burbage maybe saved enough. Maybe he can keep on rolling. Maybe he doesn't have to save anymore and can track down our race leader once again and push the subject to the back bumper of that 16 machine. But it still seems like both drivers are saving desperately out there on the racetrack. As Thomas Horvath there in position number 3. Ben Gleason back there in 4th. Then we see Jonathan Gaston, Paul LaCourte, our top 6. Aiden Lucas now up into 7th. We know Aiden is one of those drivers that does not need to come back down pit side. He came down quite a bit later here, has some pretty good tires, still running a lot better lap times than our race leaders, as both Wood and Burbage last time around were in the 33-second bracket, where Aiden Lucas was just at the 32-second area. So running still about a second faster than our race leaders. Same with Josh Crider, Brian Underwood, both still a second quicker than the race leaders as well, but they got about 30 seconds to have to make up, as out in front Matthew Wood leads the way. You can take a look here at the track map and really see where these guys are separated right now. As you see Matthew Wood on the track map out in front of the field here. So you guys got a great look at that one. You see Lonnie Crider's logo in there just ever so slightly. But down the back straight away, you're going to see the 16 ride. It's circled in green. That is our race leader. Our second place driver is about 8 seconds back there behind him. It's the 2-car, Landon Burbage. Burbage down the back straight away into quarter number 3 right now in this number 2. And you see our race leader about to go down across the start-finish line. So a huge lead, a huge advantage here between first and second on the speedway, and hopefully all these drivers have been able to save enough fuel. Hopefully they got enough to get themselves back across the start-finish line to pick up this checkered flag, but it may come right down to the wire. As here we go, Kevin Winker, who's back in the 11th position on the speedway, just came down pit side. Now, I don't know if he's got extra tires on this 42 ride or not, but he does show quite a bit more speed, at least not having to worry about fuel. So he's going to put the power down, reel in that 16 ride, try to put himself back onto the lead lap, where it's always a good place to be. You never want to be a lap down no matter where you go. So he's going to make the move right here off of corner number 2 to the outside of the 16 ride. And I don't know if he'll get the speed down the straightaway, but in the corners he'll definitely be able to carry that momentum and be able to pounce and get around that 16 ride. So Winker back on the lead lap, moves Ryan Holler as the first car 1 lap down, back in the 12th position as Matthew Wood at the front of the field has about a 10-second lead now between himself and Landon Burbage. So Burbage has been saving fuel like a madman out there on the racetrack. Matthew Wood seems to not be saving as much as the 2 ride, even though they came down pit side at the exact same time here in this run. So I'm not sure if Landon Burbage is just trying to save even more fuel for a potential green-white checkered or multiple green-white checkers, or if Matthew Wood just is going to try to test it, see if he can roll that half a lap or a lap around the speedway without enough fuel, because he doesn't seem to be really checking up as much as the 2 machine on the racetrack. And then we see Thomas Horvath right here as well. The 54 Monster Energy number 54 rolling in on our second place driver, about half a second now between himself and the 2 rider Landon Burbage, as Ben Gleason up into position number 4 and looking for more. Jonathan Gaston back there in 5th is Paul LaCourte there in 6th. Aiden Lucas there in 7th with Jaden Porter back in 8th. Then we see Josh Crider, Brian Underwood rounding out our top 10 on the speedway. The 42 of Kevin Winker back there in 11th. And our first car 1 lap down is the 99 of Ryan Haller here in the 12th spot. Danny White, Nathan Brookover, the number 37 of Evan Stewart round out our top 15 as Jordan Hand back there in the 16th position. Dallas Seward, Noah Blackwell, Farrell Robbins, Chris Stange, Trenton Johns, Grant Applegate, Melvin Brentger, Dylan Carrier, and Jordan Crider bring up the rear of the field here as 25 drivers in attendance on the evening, and right now only 11 drivers still on the lead lap, and they're all chasing down this 16, the Racers for Christ ride of Matthew Wood, as Wood looking to put himself up into victory lane as here we go, the 54, Horvath looking to try to work himself into position number 2. As he now works around the outside of Landon Burbage here. Burbage gonna slide back to position number 3 here on the Speedways. The 54 ride is gonna steamroll right on by him. Way to keep it clean, guys. Absolutely a great way. These guys are put on a heck of a show, a heck of a race here for us. Lap after lap after lap, hitting their marks, not giving up a break out there on the speedway. And these guys have put on a wonderful race for us right from the drop of the green flag here. And we're not done yet. Things can still get crazy before the end of this race. We see that late race caution flag fly. Things could really get wild here for these competitors. And that's the last thing I think Matthew Wood, Thomas Horvath, Landon Burbridge, or any of these other drivers really want to see, as we do see Ben Gleason now down pit road. He does have that extra set of tires. They did just jack him up and throwing some slicks on for this number 66 ride. Unfortunately, it may be a little bit too late to really use those fresh tires and put them into his, into his back pocket here. But if we see that late race caution flag, everyone else comes down pit side. He may be able to keep himself in front of the field. Have a blessed night. Praise the Lord. Absolutely, Bones. Praise the Lord. And have yourself a blessed night as well, brother. As, man, some great racing, some great action here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button on the broadcast. Hit that share. Hit that follow. And hit that subscribe button as we close in on only about 3 more laps of racing action left to go. This is where things are going to get very, very interesting. Does Matthew Wood have enough fuel to get to the end? Will he run out before the checkered flag now starting to slow and back up the pace extremely out here on the speedway? As Wood down across the line, he will see 3 more laps left to go. 3 more laps here for that number 16 as the 99 of Ryan Haller will put himself back onto the lead lap. So our 11th place driver now once again on the lead lap here on the speedways. Ben Gleason went a lap down during his green flag pit stop. We do see Thomas Horvath still in second. It's Paul McCourt now up into 3rd. Landon Burbage slides back to 4th here. Jonathan Gaston there in 5th. Aiden Lucas in 6th. Jaden Porter there in 7th. It's Matthew Wood down across the line. We'll see 2 more laps left to go. 2 more laps here for the 16 ride. I know one thing he's hoping for is to see that white flag, as the white flag will be the potential saving grace of this 16 ride. If the caution flag comes out between here and the start-finish line, we will see NASCAR overtime here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. But Matthew Wood, he's also got to worry about that fuel. Got to make sure he's saved enough to get himself down and across the line and into victory lane here at Kentucky Speedway. Is down the front straightaway and across the line. We'll see the white flag fly one more time around here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League as Matthew Wood leads the way down into corner number 1, nice and easy, down and out of corner number 2. Wood looking to try to pick up this win as down the back straightaway, he's looking to try to bring this 16 ride to victory lane. Wiggling a little bit right there, maybe looking for a little bit of fuel, maybe running on fumes, is down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. This 16 ride will find enough fuel as he heads down across the line. It's Matthew Wood picking up the win here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League at Kentucky Speedway. Man, what a run, what a race. We saw quite a few caution flags early on in this evening. A little bit of carnage, a lot of contact early on, but then we see nothing but crazy green flag runs late in this race, and being able to hit the strategy perfectly is this 16 ride of Matthew Wood. And now I believe Matthew Wood is out of fuel down the back straightaway, so it looks like the 9 ride, Noah Blackwell, is going to push push him back up here towards the front of the field for him to maybe do a little celebration. I don't know if he's going to be able to fire this car back up to give us a burnout, but I know he's going to be pretty pumped to still be able to bring this car home less than a lap away from running out of fuel here. So if we saw that caution flag come out, he may have been done like dinner here this evening. But you see the 2 ride right there with him, Landon Burbridge, who was able to come home in 3rd. Being able to save enough fuel for that number 2 ride and park himself up here in that 3rd spot. But as Matthew Wood, he's able to get a refired, able to do a little bit of a burnout here. And that shell might have been able to be enough to save that fuel for him. And him and his team going to celebrate here as they're all piled in together on the front straightaway. The 77 ride of Aiden Lucas, the 74 Jaden Porter right there, as well as Landon Burbridge and our race winner Matthew Wood. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for the 16 ride as Matthew Wood picks up the win and parks himself up here in victory lane at Kentucky Speedway here this evening with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Luckily enough, having enough fuel left here just ever so slightly to get this car lined up and ready for a couple little photos down here on the front straightaway. Here comes the 9 right into the photo frame, as well as this driver is going to surround him here and pay their respects for the 16 ride. Put on a great performance and a great run here on the evening, man. That was a ton of fun. He's put on a great race here for us, and can't wait to get these guys back out here and onto the speedway for some more action next Saturday. But first, we're going to get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews. The post-race interview is going to come up next as the 16 going to try to do some burnouts here around his teammates. Luckily enough, avoids the contact and damage there, so that's good to see. But see if we can pull this 16 right up here into the booth right now for his post-race interviews. Man, what a run, what a drive for our top 3 here this evening. Thomas Horvath coming home in the solid 2nd place finish here on the evening as well for Horvath, coming home in that 2nd spot. Landon Burbridge coming home there in 3rd as well. So some great runs, some great drives from all these competitors out there on the speedway. Now we just got to wait for them all to hop into the Discord here and into our interview waiting room here. Let's see if we can get them in there in a quick hurry. There we go. We got them in here. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner. You see him up there in the webcam since he got that win. It is the number 16, Matthew Wood, picking up the win and pulling himself up into victory lane. Let's pull Wood up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Matthew, brother, man, what a run, what a race. Take us through this one. How did you get it done? How did you save enough fuel to get the 16 right across the line and into victory lane here at Kentucky Speedway?
I don't know. I don't know how I saved that much fuel. I thought it was done because in the first stint, when everyone was saving, I am completely out of gas, ain't I? I'm completely out. Okay, wait, hang on. But I didn't save because I thought it was impossible. And then I thought, I think this might be possible, and I started saving, clutching in, and I made it with 0.7 across the line. So I thought for sure one of the guys that pitted were going to come up, and I thought me and Landon were screwed because to be honest, if it would have went green, I probably would have let Landon by. I wanted to do it, but with this situation, I mean, it was basically impossible to do that. So that sucks. That really does, because I really wanted to get him one, but I think with me and Landon, didn't save at all in the first stint. So I don't know how we did that, to be honest with you. That shocked me even. Because I saved about 7 laps, I think. But yeah, great run for Jaden, by the way. Jaden gets a top 7. Lucas gets a P6. Me and Landon are 1-3. So yeah, the team did great today. Evan was down in 14th. I'm pretty sure something happened to him. I heard about that. But of course, Grant had to leave, but Grant did great too. So yeah, just with all that strategy, if my brain wasn't fried from doing 6 tests on Friday, a project, and a speaking assignment, I'm gone now. I'm dead.
Absolutely, definitely very mentally strenuous, not only for schooling, but for here on the Speedway, having to make sure your calculations are correct and everything else. And luckily enough, you're able to get your calculations right here late in this race, have enough fuel to get yourself up here across the line and into victory lane. And as you said, there was definitely a lot of different strategies. Drivers staying out a little bit later, drivers coming in a little bit sooner, making this more of a 3 pit stop final stage compared to the 2 pit stops that we saw you and the 2-ride rolling out there on the Speedway. You talked a little bit about potentially those guys being able to, come in and get around you late in this race, but we saw some drivers there taking your strategy, the 2-stop strategy there, in this final stage as well, but running a little bit longer. When you look back there, you see, Josh Crider and Brian Underwood. I thought those were going to be 2 of those drivers that could potentially kind of, stay out 5, 6, 7 laps longer than what you guys did, maybe even a little longer than that. Maybe too long, because they weren't able to really rebound. They were able to drive back around you, get back onto the lead lap, make up a few spots, but I thought maybe they would be able to drive back around the Speedway and be there close to the end to battle with you here for the race win.
Yeah, I definitely. Once they got past me, I thought I was just gonna hang on and try to win it, but I didn't know what the plan was. If they got up to me, I didn't know what the plan was, because it was either I clutch in until the end of the race, or I try to push and risk running out of fuel. But that was my only 2 options. But unfortunately for them, of course, they drove a great race, and I think they had the right mindset for strategy. But yeah,
Absolutely, just doesn't quite work out for them, and it works out perfectly here for yourself, Matthews. You pull yourself back up here into victory lane with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Man, who would you like to thank for another trip up here into the victory lane here in the series?
well, NJB Designs made the scheme. Always thank them. Thank Noah. I thank the team for being there. Jaden, Aiden, Landon, and Grant, and Evan. They were all just, Evan was quiet, had his mic muted the whole time except for like 10 seconds. But we love him. We love Evan. But thank the Lord for the opportunity, and I got to go fishing today with my dad. So that's great. And apparently I'm Mr. Sophomore from what I got told. So I'm gonna have to deal with that now.
Absolutely, my brother. You're able to get the win. You were able to pull yourself up here into victory lane. Congratulations, man, on a great run, a great strategy, and being able to pick up another big win here in the season as you're getting ready and getting yourself primed for the playoffs here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League, knowing that you've already got a couple wins in your back pocket, a few of those stage wins as well, being able to earn yourself some extra playoff points. Really going to be, a little bit happier here after this one. Know that you just got those extra points and everything else into your back pocket for our playoffs here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League.
Absolutely, and we'll go through the rest of the races. Try to get Landon a win eventually, but try to get anybody in the team a win eventually.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing more of you and your teammates up here in the broadcast booth as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, Thomas Horvath, up here in just a few more moments. Matthew, congratulations on the great win. Congratulations on the great run. And we can't wait to see you back out there on the Speedway and maybe right back up here in Victory Lane next Saturday.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our race winner, Matthew Wood, picking up the win, pulling himself up into victory lane. You see him in there. He's got the lights turned down low and, maybe the door locked and everything else. He is absolutely primed and ready up there in the cockpit of that number 16 ride, locked in all race long and put on a great show for us. Huge shout out there to him. Have the webcam on for us and put on a great race for us here in this one as he was at the front of the field for a lot of laps and on some great battles up there and being able to finish this one off with the win. As we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher as our second place driver, the number 54, Thomas Horvath, coming home here in position number 2. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth himself. Hey, Thomas, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, gotcha.
Thomas, brother, man, a great run and a great race, man. Take us back through this one as we saw a lot of early caution flags, but some big, long runs late in this one, and you're trying to play that strategy perfectly. And late in this one, you're able to kind of run down the 2 right of Landon Burbridge, put yourself up into position number 2, but you got a huge gap trying to hunt down that 16 right of Matthew Wood, who was oh so close to running out of fuel. And if he ran out, you would have been right there in that best spot on the speedway and being able to take this race win away from him.
Yeah, strategy was the whole race. You know, that this track, it just eats the tires and makes you super loose, and you could tell early in the run who understood that and who didn't. And I found myself letting a lot of people go, and people being aggressive around me, I just let them go, just, you know, to survive. And then, but I knew the car would be coming back to me later, and I could catch them up. And then also the strategy came into a huge play. So yeah, there we go, 2nd place. Happy with that.
Absolutely never a bad day when you're able to pull yourself up onto the podium and being able to get a lot of good points here towards our points championship and going towards the playoffs here. It's going to feel pretty good to, you know, be close to be in contention here at being able to pick up the win here at Kentucky. As a bit of a wild race early in this one. We saw a lot of carnage. You're able to avoid all that and be there right at the end and almost right in the right place at the right time to put yourself into victory lane.
Yeah, like I said, the carnage around, you just gotta, you know, see it coming and steer clear and get to the end. And I came up with the strategy kind of on the fly. I actually kind of messed up and took all my tires and then kind of forced myself into that, and just started lifting real early. That wasn't working. I started clutching it actually, and that I could see the fuel coming back to me that way. And yeah, just barely made it. 0.5 liters up here in Canada was left.
Absolutely, brother. The leaders up here in Canada, we love it. It's a fellow Canadian coming home in position number 2. Thomas, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening in this one?
Just thanks to the boys set up the league. You know, Josh and Brian there did a good job. Had a bit of a hiccup with some iRacing thing. Had a bit of a hiccup, and they handled it well. So they're professionals, and thanks to yourself for doing such a good broadcast.
Absolutely, brother. It's always my pleasure to want you guys out there on the racetrack and battling it week after week after week here in the Premium NASCAR Racing League. Thomas, you come up one spot shy of the checkered flag here this evening, but you know, hopefully before the start of the playoffs, we'll see you up here one spot better and into victory lane yourself.
Yeah, we're just looking for a championship. The wins, that'd be nice, but consistency, I think, is key.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, brother. You want to be consistent, want to keep yourself, you know, continuously just being up here inside the top 5 and being able to do that throughout the regular season, really setting yourself up for, you know, a good playoff run and potentially, you know, one of these races like what could have been here tonight if this race was, you know, 1 lap longer or so. Maybe it could have been a different table for you or Matthew Wood and could have switched things around where you found victory lane and he came home in second for one.
Yeah, that sounds like a fantasy, really, how good that boy is. But yeah, we'll do our best.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Saturday. Congratulations again on the 2nd place run here this evening.
All right, cheers, brother. Bye.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Thomas Horvath as he comes home in position number 2 here this evening in that 54 machine. We'll get ready now to pull in our 3rd place finisher as the number 2 rider, Landon Burbridge, coming home here in that 3rd position on the speedway. We'll get ready to pull him up into the booth, and I do believe we do have the webcam here of this number 2 rider as well. As he comes home in that 2nd spot, we'll pull Landon up here into the broadcast booth. Hey Landon, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
I do.
Landon, brother, what a race, man. We saw you battling hard between you and your teammate Matthew Wood for a lot of laps out there on the speedway and a little bit of back and forth. A couple times you were able to get around him, lead some laps yourself, and looked like at times in longer ends of these runs, you seem to be the better car than the 16, but late in this one, it's come down pit side maybe a little bit too early and all of a sudden, you guys got to try to save some fuel. And we saw you saving aggressively there as Matthew was still rolling pretty good lap times out there, not saving as hard as you were. And before you know it, you got the 54 ride, and Thomas Horvath right there in your back bumper, making moves around you and pulling around you. And then we saw you battle in there with Paul LaCourte late in this race, and a close finish to stay here in that third spot on the Speedway.
Oh yeah, man. Me and Matthew thought it was done after we had took our last set of tires on that last stretch of the run there, and we thought if there was a late race caution, we would have been screwed. That's why we had to pit so early. But fortunately, I was able to save at least 7 laps, which that's a lot. I was pouring my heart out trying to save those last few laps to make the end of the run. But what a great race tonight. I appreciate everybody watching. I just want to thank my dad, my mom, and my grandpa, and and any other family friends out there watching me. This was a great race tonight. I got second in both stages. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get past Matthew for the win for the stages, but made up for some great points there and making the pole. And it was a good finish tonight.
Absolutely. Still a great finish and a great way to kind of recap the night there as you were able to get yourself, a lot of bonus points and a lot of extra points towards our championship. And now I know Matthew said a couple times now that he's been up here in victory lane. He wants to try to get you up here into victory lane here himself in one of these races. And he was looking to try to get it done here in this one, but have to save fuel, having to kind of be conscious out there on the racetrack of that fuel mileage. Kind of broke you two up and disallowed that 16 ride to try to hand you a win here on the Speedway, but maybe in the future you guys will get another run at it. And I'm sure after seeing the performance like you did here at a 1.5 mile Speedway like Kentucky, we got a few more races in this regular season that are a lot like it, where may be able to kind of reenact this one and be able to finish it off and cap it off, where maybe you two turn the tables and have you up here in victory lane for one of your first wins of the season.
Oh yeah, man. Darlington's my home track, so I'm hoping to fight for a win there next week, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack, but landing a great run and a great race here in this one, man. Who else would you like to thank for such a great performance out there on the Speedway?
Matthew, all my teammates at AG Motorsports, and yeah, man, just Aiden, Jaden Porter, all of them, my dad and everybody, all of my family for watching. They're such a great support through this whole season. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack. We look forward to seeing you one of these nights up here in victory lane. Not tonight, but a solid run nonetheless, coming home in that third spot. Congratulations, Landon, and can't wait to see you out there at Darlington next week.
Yeah, man, you have a good night.
You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Landon Burbridge. As Landon comes home there in position number 3. Shout out there to Landon, also another one of those drivers having the webcams turned on for us here throughout the evening, giving us a great look there inside the scenery behind the cockpit there of that number 2 machine. As we'll get ready to unfortunately call it a night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in here all evening. Everyone coming in, showing the love all night long, all the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and any of the new followers or subscribers between Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, man. I appreciate each and every one of you and welcome you to the Peacemaker family, to the Peacemaker crew. And if you haven't already, it's not too late to do that. Become part of the Peacemaker fam here today. Hit that gosh heckin' like button, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here this evening as we get ready to call it a night. Another good race here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. I can't thank everyone enough for tuning in and all these drivers for showing up and putting on a show for us here in this one. And I can't wait to be back in action tomorrow evening as we don't have anything mid-afternoon, but about 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 6:30 Eastern Time, we will be back live again as the Dirt Late Models for the Sling and Dirt Series will be in action. So we'll be going from the asphalt to the dirt track here tomorrow evening for a little bit of late model racing, and hopefully you guys tune into that one. Hopefully you guys enjoy some dirt track racing as well as tomorrow night. That's what we'll be doing, and then afterwards, I'm not sure what we'll be doing. Probably watching football for the rest of the evening after that broadcast. But we can't wait to be back up here in the broadcast booth tomorrow evening for some more absolutely amazing racing action. I thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Engines roar, asphalt burning, speed demons, hearts churning, adrenaline rushes, veins fire, peacemaker gaming taking us higher, racetrack wild, chaos reigns, victory close in driving lanes, handlebars tight, knuckles white, peacemaker leads through the night. Fastest right, they never miss. Peacemaker pushing to the abyss. Top broadcaster, nothing's fake. Speed kings, no one can overtake. Ooh. Audience roars, screens ignite. Peacemaker stream, pure delight. Commentary sharp like a blade, bringing the thrill never fades. Wind in your face, heart races fast. Electric surge, adrenaline blast. Peacemaker holds the string tight, guiding all through the digital night. Fastest ride, they never miss. Peacemaker pushing to the abyss. Top broadcaster, nothing's fake. Speed kings, no one can know.